and gentlemen, quick shout out for a birthday. Savannah Maya, 6 years old today. Congratulations. One of our Mighty Mike cheerleaders from Pop Warner. Congratulations, Savannah.
Week 2 of the high school football season commences as we are graced with the beautiful, serene surroundings of Carlsbad and La Costa Canyon High School. Welcome, everybody. Above the field and now next to the field, along with Blake Isaacson, my name is Jonathan Rifkin. We are delighted to have you with us for another Del Norte Nighthawk broadcast, week number 2. Del Norte took down Torrey Pines last week, Blake. La Costa Canyon put the hurt on University City, and now it's a battle of a former coach here with the current coach and two teams who are hungry for win number 2.
Well, it was a big win last week for Del Norte, needless to say. A home victory against Torrey Pines, once in the Nighthawks division, hasn't been for a while, but I believe it's the first victory against a Division I team that the Nighthawks have ever had. And it was solid, Jonathan. They won 23-14, and they were in control most of the way.
So let's get into that, Blake. Del Norte coming off of their first ever win against Torrey Pines High School, one of the biggest wins in program history against that D1 team out of the Avocado. Now they're facing another Avocado team here in the La Costa Canyon Mavericks. What are some of our takeaways from last weekend?
Well, the Nighthawks are going to be explosive on offense. Jack Schneider was amazing. He was 22 of 25 for 215 yards. He ran 10 times for 53 yards, completed 2 touchdowns to the all-county receiver, Ty Olson. The Nighthawks are going to be explosive throwing the ball, and they're going to be competent running the ball.
It was really a good continuity, right? Jack Schneider was the San Diego Union Tribune Offensive Player of the Week in the county. It's tough to capitalize off of that, but they're going to need more of that from him here against a very good defense. La Costa Canyon, you told me before the game that before the broadcast that they're really strong in the safety area.
Yeah, they've got 2 returning all-league safeties. They've got a big defensive end and a solid nose guard. So, and their coach, Sean Sovakul, said, we're going to come after them. They're very aggressive defensively. The Nighthawks have to be disciplined in their response.
What does the offense look like for La Costa Canyon, right? They came in last week with about 240 or so yards against University City, but they put up far more points, 48 points, than Del Norte did against Torrey Pines.
Yeah, they put up 248 yards rushing, 215 passing. Quinn Roth was excellent at quarterback, completing 15 of 26. They also had 2 rushers that ran combined for 200 yards. It was an outstanding effort. Their coach was happy until the penalties kicked in, and that slowed down their progress.
All right, so enough about last week. Let's look forward to what's in front of us now. Blake, what are some of the keys to the game here for Del Norte?
Well, the Toyota Poway keys to the game, we've got 3, and one of them is going to be week in and week out. Protect the maestro. Number 2, Jack Schneider. If Schneider has time to throw, the maestro can play the quartet, and that's his talented group of 4 wide receivers, Tomlinson, Becker, Hines, and all-county receiver number 5, Ty Olson. The third one, Jonathan, coach said, poise and composure, PC tonight. The Nighthawks are going up against a very explosive offense. They're going to rack up some big gains through the air, on the ground. The Nighthawks are going to have to gather themselves, be resilient, get back to the line of scrimmage, and keep on fighting.
And for our La Costa audience, we appreciate you joining us as well. We understand that your stream is not up right now, so we are happy to shoulder the load and provide you with some quality content here on Nest. We really appreciate you taking the time to join us. One key for La Costa Canyon, you got to feed Trevor Ladd the rock. He had 5 receptions last week, 4, but he only had 56 yards. He did not get into the end zone. He's a 3-star tight end. He's heading to Virginia next fall, and I think that they'd like to see him get in the end zone a few times here tonight.
Yeah, throughout his high school career, he's been one of the top recruiting targets in all of San Diego County, and he announced he's going to UVA.
Yep, he will be a Cavalier, but right now he's a Maverick, and we will step aside. I had the opportunity for Coach's Corner, week number 2 with head coach Nick Barnett. Stood up with him next to the field after the JV game, and we had a quick conversation. It's week 2 of high school football, and Del Norte's on the road with Costa Canyon. Jonathan Rifkin, I'm here with Coach Nick Barnett. Coach, these are the confines that help build your coaching acumen. How does it feel to be back here?
You know, it feels good. My kids play Pop Warner up here. I lived here for, 10 years. So, I mean, it's definitely, it's another home for me, but my new home is Del Norte, and I'm loving that as well. It's a great opportunity to play against kids that we've raised and we've grown. There's probably not a kid on any of these teams that me or my coaches haven't coached in the Pop Warner circuit. So, you know, it feels good. It's going to be bittersweet when we win our game and feel sorry for them, but because they lost. I mean, I'm just talking. But, you know, this game has got to be won on the field, obviously, so I know that. I'm just, you know, but I feel that our guys are ready to play, and if they do what they're supposed to do, I feel that we should be able to win this game.
Well, let's talk about a game that you guys have already won. Last week, you guys beat Torrey Pines at home. That was your coaching debut. What were the feelings from that game, and how do you feel about your team?
I thought my team was exactly what I thought they were. They were a physical team. They're running to the ball. They want to win. They're committed. They're dedicated. They're all about it. Now we just got to do that against another great coach team and a good team that's got some athletic ability and some D1 prospect type of players. So and a lot of my guys are looking for that opportunity to prove themselves against great players. There's no better day than today. Today is a great day to be great, and we're looking forward to it.
Coach, you just amped me up. Let's get it. Yeah. All right, coming up on the other side, it's kickoff. You're watching Del Norte football on Nest TV. Schneider looking to throw, dumps it out across the 50.
Guess who?
Yeah, it's Ty Olson cutting around the strong side. Into the 25, he's pushed out just shy of the 18 on the coverage. The holder, Trey Coleman, gets the season going. How long I've been on ya. 3rd and 17. And that's exactly what Jack is thinking, but instead he finds some real estate. Stays on his feet through one.
Do anybody make real anymore? Bow in the presence of greatness. Cause right now that has forsaken us. You should be honored by my lateness. That I would even show up to this space. So go ahead, go nuts, go ace. Especially in my pastel on my page. Act like you can't tell who made this new gospel, homie. Take 6 and take this, haters. That don't kill me, can only make me stronger.
Olsen deep into the end zone. It's caught. Touchdown, Nighthawks.
Right now. I don't know if you got a man or not, if you made plans or not, if God put me in your plans or not.
Got knocked down with the throw. It's intercepted. Jake Gregory securing night number 1 for Del Norte.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, good evening and welcome to the Costa Canyon High School. Want to welcome all you Del Norte fans. Welcome to the Costa Canyon. We've got a great matchup here tonight between the visiting Del Norte Nighthawks and your Costa Canyon Mavericks. Should be a great one here on week 2 of the 2023 football season. And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll direct your attention to the east end of the field, let's give it up for your Costa Canyon Mavericks! Give it up, fans, for those green uniforms! Keep it going, fans. Let's give it up. Here we go.
Week 2 of the high school football season will get rolling in just a moment from La Costa Canyon High School as we welcome you back. Blake Isaacson, Jonathan Rifkin, a pleasure no matter how you're watching or where you're watching. We certainly appreciate you making us a part of your Friday evening plans. We're rolling into the season, and Blake, it couldn't be done without some help.
Yeah, I want to thank some of our top sponsors here, our platinum sponsors, including Chick-fil-A, Eat In, Dine Out, or Drive-Thru right here in Del Sur, and Oakley Sunglasses, which put on a great big event for us down at the UTC Mall for sports and fashion.
I was rocking my Oakley sunglasses they gave me all week long. It was, oh, what a look.
I guess that only goes to the play-by-play guy, the color commentator, maybe next year.
It's because I need to look better. I need the assistants. They know you look good already, Blake.
And Joshua's Pest Control. Joshua's gets rid of pests, so you feel at home in your home.
All right, captain's out towards midfield, Blake, and we talked about this game as more than just the two teams on the football field, right? Head coach Nick Barnett, and this will be a conversation piece throughout the evening, was the linebackers coach here. His kids went through Pop Warner here, as he told me before the game. It's going to be interesting to see if this team can keep their emotions contained and leave it out on the football field with the knowledge that Nick Barnett was in a Mavericks uniform or Mavericks coaching polo all but a year ago.
And not just Nick Barnett, his son Caden as well came through the Mavericks and the Pop Warner program over here at La Costa Canyon. He's now a junior. He will play or see a lot of time, sometimes start in the secondary at safety. So not just the coach, but also his son. And so it's a good rivalry, all the makings right there.
A beautiful evening up in Carlsbad, Encinitas, right on the border. You couldn't ask for much better weather conditions. Sun is setting. It's starting to get a bit cool. We expect an overcast, and the coin toss was up.
Wanted to mention something else as I observed coming in here tonight. This school really knows how to put on a football game. They built up an excellent program under Coach Sean Savakul. It's a little bit of a hard name to remember. But, boy, they are tailgating in the parking lot. The stadium is packed. They've got plenty of sponsors and stream live, all the rest. They've got a huge program, and it's the kind of program that the Nighthawks have become.
Breaking for the national anthem. When we return, it's kickoff right here on STV. The culture of the Mavericks greeting us as we come back into the stadium. It's the Avocado League versus the Palomar League. La Costa Canyon a season to go. Blake 7-4. They finished fourth. And perhaps the toughest league in San Diego from top to bottom. They went 5-1 at home, though. A very good home football team, both last year and historically. They beat University City at home last week, so they have some momentum on that. And this crowd, you mentioned the show that they put on. There is a football culture here at La Costa Canyon High School.
Yeah, there really is, and it's one that's being established out at Del Norte, and this is the kind of environment the Nighthawks have created it themselves, and it's very exciting to see two high schools that are playing at high levels that get this kind of community support going up against each other.
Home green and golds for La Costa Canyon. Road white and blues, gold helmets for Del Norte. We are ready to go on a Friday night, week number 2. 2 1-0 teams. Two teams with aspirations. La Costa Canyon comes in 7th in the San Diego Union Tribune Power Rankings. Del Norte just outside the top 10. Trey Coleman boots this one away, and as expected, it's into the end zone for a touchback.
There's Trey Coleman putting on display the first play of the game. One of the Nighthawk assets, his strong leg. Ball goes into the end zone, depriving the Mavericks of an opportunity to return a kick and improve their field position beyond the 20-yard line. This is one of the strategies the Nighthawks have, forced the Mavericks to go on long drives in order to score. So far, so good.
And an opportunity for the Mavericks on their own 20-yard line to get things going. It's going to be Quinn Roth, the quarterback. Got his first varsity start last week against University City. And on the first drive, he threw a 49-yard touchdown pass to get the scoring open. Here he is in shotgun. 3 receivers and a running back. 3-4 look from the defense here for Del Norte. Man on the move, that's Martinez. And it's a handoff bouncing out left as Andrew Mays has some space for a moment before he's wrapped up just shy of the 25-yard line.
Mays is their top player in the backfield as far as running backs are concerned. 1,600 all-purpose yards last year, including 12 touchdowns. He's also an excellent receiver and a great return back as well. The Mavericks want to get the ball into his hands and let him fly.
18 rushes for 112 yards last week. Pretty good yards per carry ratio.
Exceptional.
Did not find the end zone. Back to a spread offense here for Quinn Roth and company. Cover 0 for the defense. They're playing straight man. A play action RPO look. Cutting up middle. Passes incomplete to Paco Martinez. Paco was 3 for 53 last week in receiving.
Charlie Bowers closing in on that one. He heard footsteps, the receiver that is, and as a result, the ball went incomplete. Nighthawks tonight, Jonathan, will not have Adrian Gonzalez, their top pass rusher on defense. Adrian banged up his knee last week and will miss at least this game. Hopefully that's it.
A big point to keep in mind, Adrian Gonzalez, one of the law firm you like to call last year, right?
That's it. He missed, he accounted for about half of their sacks last season.
He was exceptional. 3rd and 6 from the 24 here for the Mavericks. Opening drive and a no rush. Roth, pocket collapsing, and he's dropped for a loss on the play. A sack flying in is Esteban Limon, the other member of the firm.
That's it. Esteban Limon, number 99. He's a 4-year starter on both offense and now playing some defense as well. He banged up his knee last year and missed the end of the season. The coaches were very excited to get him back and see that he's in strong condition. He's big, he's strong, he's tough, he's a wrestler. His younger brother Gio's on the team as well. Good to see. Good to see for the Nighthawks.
The Costa Canyon didn't punt last week. They will punt now. Ty Olson back to receive. It's a short punt, taking a Maverick bounce out towards the 44-yard line in Nighthawk territory. So some pretty good field position for Jack Schneider and company.
Yeah, this fits in well with the Nighthawk game plan. Win the field position game. It started with Trey Coleman's boot into the end zone, forcing the Mavericks to start on their own 20-yard line. Nighthawks held into a punt. Now they end up with good field position.
Jack Schneider, we mentioned in our pregame show, was the San Diego Union Tribune Offensive Player of the Week in the county. Can't get much more efficient than what he showed last week. 22 completions, 25 passes, 215 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Also ripped off 10 rushes for 54 yards. Here he is in the shotgun. And plenty of space for him to maneuver. Sheds a potential tackler and runs out of bounds near the 50-yard line.
Well, they came after Schneider, forced him up into the pocket, and as it was collapsing further, Schneider found a seam, darted to the outside, scooted upfield for 8 yards, 2nd and 2.
And that's an element of his game that he has added on, and he has been proud of. When he and I caught up last week, he said, you know, you're going to see quicker passes out of my hands, but you're going to see quicker feet under me as well. And that has reigned true so far.
Olsen on sole coverage near us on the home side of the field.
Yeah, Bodie Estabrook. The cover man, high snap. Schneider keeps. Up the middle he goes, and that will end up being a loss on the play, a sack by a trio of Mavericks led by big number 44, Braden Patterson, the linebacker, sets up a third and about 5.
That's too bad. Whenever you've got Ty Olsen in single coverage all by himself, that's a play the Nighthawks can get into the end zone.
You have to make sure that you clean things up. Last week for La Costa Canyon, it was a ton of flags. Del Norte actually did a pretty good job. We saw some on Terry Howell on the outside of the line, but you don't want to fumble snaps, especially when Ty Olsen's in single coverage. You want to give Schneider as much opportunity as possible to get him the rock.
Right. Terry contacted me. 1 or 2 of those calls weren't on him. They were on his understudy, so fair enough.
Fair enough. Handoff on 3rd and 5. It's going to be close. Was that Christopher Guzman?
I think it's a little short, unfortunately.
It was the senior running back. It's about a half a yard short, but you know what's going to happen here, especially when you're playing your former team that you coached, Blake. I can see that you're unhappy with a potential
Well, it looks like the
4th
Nighthawks
down.
are going to go for it here.
And why not? You want to establish the tempo early. You got the stop by the defense. You want to reward them, and it's 4th and half a yard in opponent territory.
This could be an opportunity to get the defense to jump off sides and get a first down that way without putting a turnover at risk. Yeah, he's got single coverage on the near side.
And
here.
an extra blocker up front, and I was expecting the handoff. Here it comes. Good first move by Guzman, bouncing out right. Got to get upfield. Ooh, really tough hit, and it's going to be close, folks.
I don't think he got it. I sure hope I'm wrong, though. Guzman just kept fighting for that extra yard. He was back in the backfield. The spot looks like a little bit short, and it looks like it's going to be
a turnover on downs.
Looks like they're going to measure.
Well, all 3 officials were standing in different places along the line to gain.
Boy, no, he's short.
Yeah, he went from a half a yard to a quarter of a yard.
Yeah.
And it should be La Costa Canyon football. All right, so your fears come to fruition, Blake. They go for it on 4th down, and they don't get it.
I suspect that the Nighthawk coaching staff was emboldened by shutting down the Mavericks on that first drive so effectively and figuring that they can hold this spot, and it was a risk worth taking. We'll see. They're still doing some measuring down there. And they have not announced, they haven't flipped the markers yet.
Oh,
Well,
this is interesting because typically it's the chain crew that comes out and brings the chains. It's an official. It's going to be short. Yeah, about an unclipped toenail length short.
Pretty much.
So La Costa Canyon gets the stop on downs. Del Norte was able to rip off some short yardage gains by runs, but a punt and a turnover on downs opens up each team's first drive of the ball game.
So now the Nighthawks got to play some stout defense and hold the field position against a team that ran up quite a few points last week, 41, I believe it was.
Yeah, last week it was a 41-25 win. They were up 21-0, and then a couple of flags and an interception later, University City came roaring back. It wasn't enough. Single back formation here for the offense. Quinn Roth back out there. It's a toss out to the right. Mays in possession of the football, powers his way for a gain of about 4 on the play out towards the 50.
Like Esteban Lamone in the game, in the tackle as well.
On the tackle for Del Norte.
Del Norte last week beat Torrey Pines 23-14. This is the first of a 2-game road trip. They're on to Eastlake next week.
Right.
Take on the Titans. Costa Canyon finishes up their homestand. They're up to Orange County. They'll take on San Clemente next week. So both teams with a lot on the line as they hit the road. Roth out wide. The pass is caught by Paco Martinez out towards the line to gain. He got it. An 8-yard gain by Paco Martinez. And the first down of the game for La Costa Canyon.
And an important tackle out there by Jake Warren. He was all alone. If he didn't make that tackle, that receiver was off to the races and likely going to score a touchdown. Nice play by Jake Warren. Good pass, good catch.
First and 10 on the 41-yard line of Del Norte.
First and 10 from the 41 in Nighthawk territory. Mavericks trying to expose the opportunities the defense is giving them. Here's a pass to the Virginia commit. It's caught, and it goes for a good gain on the play, a gain of 15 for Trevor Ladd. He carries 2 Nighthawks with him.
Well, Charlie Bowers was right there, but he's just 6 foot. Ladd is quite a bit bigger than that and a big target. He did what he could, but that's a physical specimen that's hard to defend.
Boy, I'm sure they're glad to have Ladd on their team. Bouncing out right. Oh, that's a handoff to Martinez. Finds a hole. Check that. That is Andrew Mays into the end zone. It's his first touchdown of the new season, and La Costa Canyon is on the board at 6-0.
Well, that was a well-blocked play off right tackle, and he had a hole and got into the secondary. There was no one else there. Excellent blocking by La Costa Canyon, and the Nighthawks go down by a touchdown.
A really good run. I saw the 7 as a 1. I was confused why Martinez was carrying the ball, but it was indeed the star running back. Out to kick the extra point is Connor Luoto. He's a lefty.
Right, we haven't run into many of those.
You don't see a ton of them.
No.
Sebastian Janikowski style kickers.
Right.
They're typically very efficient, though, when they operate. And I spoke the broadcaster's jinx into existence. It was off left, and the score remains 6-0, which I think if you're Del Norte, you'll take.
Yeah, the Nighthawks got a break there when La Costa Canyon didn't convert on the extra point. So the lead is just 6-0, which allows us to get back. And thanks to more of our sponsors, including North, San Diego's Legacy, Oral and Facial Surgery Practice, NCO, FSC, dedicated experts focused on dental implants, wisdom teeth removal, and other oral surgery solutions, and partners in home care, caring for loved ones in home care, senior living community, or for senior transportation. And of course, Seapoint Wealth Advisors. As your wealth advisors, Seapoint is here to counsel you, listen to your concerns, and guide you on the right path during the course of a long-lasting relationship.
62-yard touchdown drive for La Costa Canyon. Luoto cedes the kickoff to Jackson Maggiore, and it's a short one. There's Ty Olson on the return, out across the 25. He gets stuffed, and Del Norte will begin about 5 yards more than they would have gotten on a touchback.
So a minor improvement.
Take what you can get.
5 yards is 5 yards here, 5 yards there. Pretty soon you got to drive together.
So we've seen a short punt by La Costa Canyon, a missed PAT, and a short kickoff.
Right.
It makes me wonder if a kicking game for this team might be a weakness.
It appears that way so far.
Jack Schneider back out there, manning the helm. Ty Olson in isolation on the left side. That's the weak side. Christopher Guzman to his left. There is a free safety and zone coverage for the defense. And they're showing a 4-3 look up front. Oh, blitz comes. Schneider flushed out left. Still looking to throw to Olson, and it is short, incomplete. And a great job by the linebacker fading out right. That's Caden Quinn, who maybe got a fingertip. If he didn't, he actually cut off the viewpoint of Jack Schneider.
Yeah, that's how I saw it as well. It looked like he made a nice leap up there and maybe impeded the natural progress of how the ball was going to get to Ty Olson. The Nighthawks got to get Schneider a little bit more time for him to get the ball to Olson. Olson's going to be open out here in single coverage. Other schools last year tried to put one defensive back on Ty, and he burned him.
But what Costa Canyon figured is if they can pressure Schneider, he might miss Olson, and that's what we just saw.
Boy, the snap is bad again.
And this is a keeper for Jack, takes it up, just shy of the 30.
Well, the Nighthawks need to solve that snapping situation because that's going to be a problem all night and interrupting the passing game. That essentially costs the Nighthawks a couple of downs here because the quarterback's not getting the ball in a timely fashion. His timing is upset. It's a real problem. This, Jonathan, goes right back to the issue of key to the game number 3, composure and poise. After a quick score, the Nighthawks now need to get the ball and move it upfield.
Yeah, Schneider finally has some time for a moment, floats this one out there, and it's into no man's land. 4th and 7.
That ball seemed to slip out of Jack's hand. I didn't see him getting hit, but the ball didn't come out the way it normally does for Schneider, and the Nighthawks will be forced to punt fairly deep in their own territory. Trey Coleman lining, is that Trey Coleman? Looks like he's lining up on about the 15-yard line.
Yeah, a pair of Mavericks back to receive. Garcia and Majori back to receive. Coleman with a little backspin to it. Bouncing at the 38. Trickling to the, we'll call it the 27. Official saw it as the 29, maybe the 30, and that's where the Mavericks begin this drive. So a 60-yard drive last time. They have 70 yards this time, and we'll see if Del Norte can adjust the defense just a bit.
Yeah, the Nighthawks' response was not very good there. They had a bad snap. They had a pass that was tipped or at least fell short. The Nighthawks didn't look good on that series at all. So we'll see what.
Here's a tell. So Trevor Ladd clearly has more size than anybody else outside the line for Del Norte. I wonder if that becomes the centerpiece for this passing game for La Costa Canyon, because clearly he is more sizable than these defensive backs.
Yeah, they show him here at 6'3", 225. He might be a little bigger.
He might be bigger, yeah. And that's muscle, folks. Oh, a high snap over Roth's head. It's a foot race to it. Roth tumbles on top of it, and after a really tough hit, he's down at the 9-yard line. That is going to be a huge loss on the play. A 21-yard loss on the missed snap here for the Mavericks.
Jack Parker in on that one, and boy, he made a quick movement to the ball, jumped on the quarterback as he picked it up, did everything he could to knock the ball loose. The quarterback was able to hold on to it, but nevertheless, the Mavericks backpedaled by 21 yards there.
So we've seen 2 bad snaps to Schneider and now a bad snap to Quinn Roth.
Yeah, bad snaps are the story of the game so far, Jonathan.
So this brings 2nd and 31 now. Roth into the end zone. It's a screen pass forward. Nobody screening for Mays, though, and he's dropped for a loss of 1 on the play. It'll be 3rd and 32 now.
Garrett Hurdy snuffed that one out. It was a screen pass set up on the left-hand side of the offensive line. The quarterback went back to pass. The linemen allow the rushing Nighthawks to go by them, and then they set up to block for the receiver once he catches the ball. Hurdy saw it coming and blew right through there and blew up the play. 3rd and 32.
So defense will go into prevent now, which last night I was calling a football game up at Ramona Vista, and Ramona played prevent defense, and Vista's only touchdown of the game came against that prevent defense. So you never know against prevent defense. You see 4 back into the secondary here for Del Norte. They'll rush 3. And a flag is thrown. Delay of game, perhaps?
I think so.
Penalty marker on the play.
Yep, and that'll back it up another 5 yards.
Half the distance, so.
Oh, that's
yeah.
No, yep. You're better at math than I am, Blake. So it'll be 3rd and 37 from the 3. And you just have to get this ball out of the end zone if you're the Mavericks offense.
Nighthawks need to put pressure on the quarterback. Here's where you want Adrian Gonzalez, but he's not available.
Quick throw near side. Paco Martinez, it's complete. Stutters has some space. Collides. That was Jake Warren on the tackle. It goes for a gain of 8 on the play. It is not enough, and the Mavericks will have to punt this one away deep in their own territory. And based on the short punt we saw last time, Del Norte could get some good field position out of this. Ty Olson lining up at the 50.
Jack Christensen in on that as well. The ball snap,
That's
safety.
So a safety puts Del Norte on the board at 6-2.
It's a baseball score, not a.
Yeah, you don't typically see missed snaps from the long snapper. That's typically your guy out there.
Well, that has become a specialty, and actually the quickest way to the NFL. All the teams have to have a long snapper. That's great, because if they mess up their job, the whole offense and special teams goes to heck. So
this completely changes the energy of this game, Blake, because you're up 6-0 as if you're La Costa Canyon, and then you avoid the safety with Quinn Roth under center. You think that you're going to get the punt away, as you see the Del Norte faithful showing out. Pretty good turnout for the road team. And then disaster by the special teams squad. And now you have to punt this ball. Actually, in high school, you don't have to punt this ball. You can just kick it off, right? But it's all the way back to the 20, which means Del Norte could still get good field position.
Yeah. Although it could have been even worse for La Costa Canyon if the ball doesn't go out of the end zone.
Touchdown.
It was available for the Nighthawks to fall on it and get 5 more points after an extra point.
Pair of returners here for Del Norte. This one is kicked to Ty Olson.
Good.
Out at the 25.
Watch him go.
Up the middle, plenty of space for Olson. Hurdles through one, lowers the shoulder as he is powered down right across the 41-yard line. Good return for Ty Olson. And once again, Jack Schneider and company in good field position. There is a flag on the play at the 36.
No indication yet on which team that's against.
It looks like the Del Norte fans think it's on La Costa.
Well, the officials are lined up like they're going to mark it off towards the Maverick side of the field.
It's a personal foul on Del Norte, so perhaps an illegal block in the back. We don't have the exact reasoning as to why a personal foul was called. It was on Del Norte, so mistake after mistake on both sides, Blake, and this has been far from a clean start to this football game.
Yeah, that's really a momentum changer against the Nighthawks. They had a great defensive series there, ending with a safety. Olsen got the ball, great field position, and now they're back in their own field position.
Clock stops at 3:50. 6-0 remains the score. Jack Schneider has a 1st and 10 from his own 44. Screen pass out left, and pass is incomplete. That is Tyler Becker. He had 4 receptions for 30 yards a week ago.
And I know that looked like a bad, less than optimal pass from Schneider, and same with Becker, but you know what? That's based on the snap. When that snap comes high, the entire tempo and timing of the play is affected. And as a result, they never recovered from it. The Nighthawks have to solve this snapping situation.
That's 3 bad snaps in the last 2 possessions for Del Norte. 2nd and 10. Olsen once again in man-on-man coverage to your left. Schneider rolling out right, a fling up the middle, and pass is incomplete again. This is a completely different look than what we saw last week. That was a really good throw. And another incomplete pass. Was that Oliver Hines on the
Yeah, it looked
receiving
like
end?
Oliver Hines.
Yeah.
He's usually pretty sure-handed out there. It was Schneider put the ball where it could be caught.
Hines caught all of his passes last week. And 3rd and 10. So when Schneider finally has some time and is able to throw the ball, his wide receivers have been unable to capitalize.
Now here's 3rd and 10. That's a longer down, a little tougher to convert.
Yeah, this time they spread him out evenly around Jack Schneider. Hines was in the backfield. Guzman takes his spot, and that's to shift the defense now onto the strong side. Schneider looking up the middle. It's intercepted. And down to the 30 on the interception goes Caden Quinn, the linebacker.
Well, that's just not something we're accustomed to seeing out of Jack Schneider, but I can't help but think that just the timing of everything is just not coming together as a result of the problems that Nighthawks have had getting the snap off the shotgun handled in an optimal manner. And as a result, they're giving up big field position, and what looked like momentum shifting to the Nighthawks is now squarely back in.
So 6-2 is the score. Del Norte does not have an offensive score. They was from a safety off of a bobbled or a bad long snap on a punt attempt for the Mavericks. The Mavericks scored 2 drives ago on a 60-yard drive, and it has been all but clean football so far. It's been entertaining,
Yeah.
at least for us. Roth looking towards the end zone. He has a man open, and it's overthrown to Bodie Estabrook.
Well, that's one of their top 3 receivers they want to get the ball to. He was actually open, and the ball was just overthrown.
So, yeah, a sigh of relief right there for Del Norte, at least for the moment. Estabrook last week was very productive. He's the number 2 receiver on this team. He went 5 for 32, no touchdowns. Costa, despite having 41 points, had only 1 passing touchdown all game last week. Is there a flag on the player? Player injured.
Player down, which gives us an opportunity to thank some more of our sponsors for Del Norte football, including State Farm Insurance. And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Our local State Farm agent, Ron Wine. Give Ron a call for your home, life, and car insurance needs at 858-484-1297. And then there's Apollo Jets, sponsor of the Del Norte drone, which takes beautiful shots of our ball games before and after the game. Thank you, Apollo Jets. And Laundry, San Diego's premier Green Valley dry cleaners, dedicated to working around your busy schedule. The most reliable laundry pickup and drop-off service in America's finest city.
That's a good reminder for me to get my laundry going when I get home. Making my move tomorrow to Point Loma, and I have to make sure I have some clean laundry.
Atta boy.
It'll be 2nd and 10 here for La Costa Canyon. They're still checking on the injured Nighthawk out at the 20-yard line.
Looks like that young fellow's grabbing a rib or something in the...
Actually, it's a Maverick.
Yeah.
That was down. I couldn't tell the jersey on the far side. Certainly hope he's okay. We'll try to get the number on him. From our vantage point, it's a little bit difficult.
Coach Sovacool asked me to say hello to his buddy Bob Chappelle back in Cleveland. He's a big Guardians fan and Browns fan. Long-suffering, I understand, like I am as a Raider fan.
My girlfriend's from Canton, Ohio. She's a long-suffering Browns and Cavs, not so much, but more Guardians fan. But
Well,
she's also an Ohio State fan, so we can't feel bad for her.
Right. There's some winning going on there.
Exactly. Until my Oregon Ducks join the Big Ten.
Don't tell Coach Barnett.
I don't know. He might be able to see his alma mater play San Diego State on a regular basis if they join the Mountain West, which would be a really good get for the conference. All right, back to the action on the field. 2nd and 10 from the 28-yard line for the Mavericks. It's a 6-2 score, a hair under 3:30 to play here in the first quarter. Good handoff up the middle, chugs Mays, and he's taken down just shy of the 20 at the 19.
Another Maverick down. The Nighthawks on that play had excellent backside pursuit, but they were not able to catch up with the ball player. As an offensive coach myself, I see that kind of pursuit, and I think that's a time to call a reverse. So Nighthawks got to make sure somebody stays home on that, or they're going to be susceptible to that kind of an action.
And once again, an injury timeout on the field, Blake.
And this could be a factor as this game goes on. We said earlier that Coach Sovacool is very confident in his starters up and down all the positions, but he said his depth is not quite what he's comfortable with, and a lot of these players go both ways. As a result, they lose 2 of them here in the early going. That limits their depth, and if there's not as much coming to fill those gaps, that could be an edge for the Nighthawks.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the player injured is Blake Mazzoni, the powerful offensive lineman here for La Costa Canyon. We certainly hope he's okay.
Yeah, he's their best offensive lineman. He's quite accomplished.
And we'll try to keep you posted on all the injuries should we get any information.
He has an offer from Air Force. He started every single game last year at right tackle and put on 30 pounds of muscle in the offseason. And his coach thinks he'll be an all-CIF candidate.
And by the way, Air Force recruits the best linemen because all they do is run the football. So if you're getting recruited as a lineman to Air Force, you're pretty darn good. Here's a play-action pass on the comeback route. It's complete. That's Paco Martinez. He had 1 touchdown earlier tonight, and he moves the sticks after gaining about 5 on the play.
Yeah, you could see that coming. They were going to fake that way because the Nighthawks were over pursuing on the previous play. But they stayed home there and made a good play and prevented a big gain from occurring, but it did turn into a first down.
22-yard line. On a fresh set of downs here for the Mavericks offense, a team that averaged 24 points per game last year. They ended up losing to Mater Dei Catholic in the D1 semifinal, 41-9. That was after beating Steel Canyon 41-14 in the CIF San Diego Section Division I quarterfinal. Under center comes Quinn Roth. Mays out behind him. It's a handoff to Mays to the strong side, bouncing out, spinning, twirling, falling, gain of 3 on the play.
That was a great play by Khalil Farah. He had a banged up wrist last week, and I was concerned that he wasn't going to be able to make it out here. I ran into Coach Barnett before the game. He shook his head like nothing ever slows that guy down.
Yeah, last year he had a few injuries, and every single time Coach Paul Schneider, the defensive coordinator, told me we would literally have to force him to take a rest. He just wanted to get out. He would try to hide injuries. Hopefully that's not the case this season. 2nd and 7 from
Another
the 14. Yeah, high snap over Roth. Gets it on the bounce and then wisely goes down at the 30, but a really tough hit. That's the 2nd time that he's taken a tough hit. That time it was Khalid Farah again.
And he re-injured his left wrist.
Hey, you
so
see, he's hopping off.
Coming out there. His older brother Mo, I enjoyed watching when my boys first started playing at Del Norte. I've run into Mo at some Del Norte games, so want to say hello to him.
They got to bring in somebody for Khalid Farah because they only have 10 guys out there.
Well, I didn't bring my shoulder pad, so hopefully we have a better option.
3rd down and 22 for the Mavs.
No, there's 11 now.
All
okay,
right,
so
that's
somebody
good.
came out there. Yeah.
All right,
I didn't want it to be like a soccer situation where you get a red card and you're playing a man down. 3rd and 22. Ball all the way back to the 24. Roth dump down pass. It's complete. Paco Martinez again turns his legs up. Oh, excuse me, that was Andrew Mays. The 1 and the 7 are hard to differentiate from our vantage point, but it is well short of even the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be 4th and 12.
That's a fairly safe call in this situation. A screen pass is a short pass. It's not likely to be intercepted, and it gives you an opportunity to get the ball closer to kick the field goal, which it looks like was their intention. Now the question I have, Jonathan, they've had so many bad snaps. Are they going to be able to get the ball to put it down to?
And Luoto missed the PAT after the touchdown as well. So for Luoto,
that snap fake?
It's a fake. That ball goes into the hands of Jackson Maggiore. He will be short, and that will be a turnover on downs. I think that might have been by design, Blake. I think that they set up the field goal unit to get it to Maggiore to try and pin Del Norte's offense deep into their own territory.
I think you're right, but I'm not certain of that. The coaches may have gone to that holder and said, we're having trouble with snaps. If it doesn't come up cleanly to you, pick it up and put it under your elbow and go.
Nonetheless, a break for the Nighthawks.
A big one.
And they will have possession all the way back into out towards their 13-yard line, and that will end the first quarter. So teams will switch sides. And Blake, you want to pay some more bills?
I'd like to, because we have so many outstanding sponsors. Want to encourage all of our listeners to remember how important it is to support these sponsors who give so generously to Del Norte Athletics. So please patronize them as they support our Nighthawk athletes, including a new sponsor, the Herndon Home Team. Part of the RE/MAX network, call Lisa Herndon at 760-579-1183. And Mechanical Systems Contractors, or MSC for short. I think I just drove by their building when I was down by San Diego State's new stadium just the other day. And Sheila Goodkin at Coldwell Banker West, luxury property specialist here in the Del Norte surrounding area.
You were out by Snapdragon?
I was down there at the Better Business Bureau.
Very nice. Second quarter gets underway. Del Norte at their own 13. It's a slant to Ty Olson. He gets lit up. He fumbles the football. He is down. He is hurt. There is a flag. La Costa Canyon recovers, and there's a Maverick down as well.
Well, we're going to have to unpack that one. I hope we can get a replay going. It looked to me like Ty Olson was down after he caught the ball, and then it came out.
It was Kai Ingold who made the hit, and I'm not sure. Coach Barnett is out there, and he is angry. And I think Ty, he's shaken up and he's frustrated, but he's going to stay out there. He moves out to the left. No, Ashton Tomlinson will jog back in there and give Ty a rest.
And I think that's going to be a personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the defense, hitting an unprotected receiver.
Oh, because he didn't gather and have full possession of the football is what you're saying.
I think he was down, and then he hit him. Do we have a replay on that?
We don't have replay tonight on the road,
Okay.
unfortunately. Yeah, personal foul on the defense. And Del Norte will retain possession, and it'll be 15 yards on the personal foul as well.
Half the distance, so they'll bring it down to about the 12 or 13-yard line. Sorry, yeah, right, wrong, I'm going the other, yeah, no, there. Yes, you're right.
They have to
Going
measure it from the
yeah.
right.
Yeah, here we go, 12, 13, right in there. And moving it from there up to the, okay. So they're measuring it from the line of scrimmage. So I guess they gave the Nighthawks the option of taking the 15-yard penalty and redoing the play, or taking the yardage, and they decided to wisely to take the distance.
And Ty Olson jogs back out there. Ashton Tomlinson will stay in. It's actually going to be Oliver Hines who steps off for the offense. So 5 seconds into quarter number 2. We have seen everything but like a clean drive in this game, Blake.
Right.
Wow, we hope all the players so far who have been shaken up are okay on both sides.
Empty backfield for Schneider.
And here comes Guzman. Joining him is Connor Miller, the senior, onto the left. It's a high snap again to Jack. A duo, now a trio of Mavericks converge. Jack stays on his feet and goes down at the 22-yard line. It will be a loss of about 6 on the high snap. That is the 4th bad snap to Jack Schneider tonight.
I actually think that snap was okay, but I think that Schneider's rhythm is been so obscured by this that it's just not happening right. I don't think that snap was a bad one. I think that went through Jack's fingertips. I guess that begs the question, does it make sense for the Nighthawks to go off the tee, which means where the quarterback lines up right behind the center and takes the ball.
And for a spread offense, that's not typically as ideal. That's typically for a single back look.
I think it's too early for that, but it makes you start to think about that.
2nd and 17. Hines on the move from left to right. Schneider takes the snap. Schneider, pocket collapses, incomplete.
Well, the Nighthawks, sensing this big pass rush coming with the long yardage necessary to get a first down, decided that they'd call a screen play, let the La Costa Canyon rushers come past their line of their linemen and set up blocking beyond that point, but the ball was tipped, and just the Nighthawks are just not in sync tonight.
3rd and 17. 6-2 is our score. Two teams who showed very consistent and very impressive offenses a week ago have really struggled to get it going here in week number 2. And now some extra protection up front for Jack Schneider. 3 receivers and a running back. Defense in that 3-4, but there is a linebacker running out to the right looking for the blitz look, and a flag will fly. Yeah, out on the right side. Sean Lobanov, the outside guard, may have twitched first.
I think that was on Connor Herrick, number 78.
Do I have a different? Oh, you're right. I was looking at the wrong name.
Connor Herrick's a basketball player. He was on the varsity basketball team last year. He's also a baseball player. I believe he's a pitcher. He's a big, strong kid, a great athlete, and the Nighthawks are eager to integrate him into the offense this season. But football is a tough culture to learn on the fly, and he's having to do it here in a big game. And a lot to keep track of here. Leads to a 5-yard penalty. Now the Nighthawks have a very long
3rd and 22
for a first down.
Minute and a second into quarter number 2. It has been a very long quarter and some change. Here's the snap to Schneider. Guzman picks up the protection. Oliver Hines was open. The ball was underthrown. It's incomplete.
Underthrown but catchable. The Nighthawks kind of hid Olsen in the backfield and then brought him out into a slot. I think they were hoping that he'd draw double coverage even from that point, and they could sneak the ball into Hines. He was open but wasn't able to come up with the catch. Nighthawks are just out of sync tonight.
Both teams.
Here's a late arriving Nighthawk on the end.
So the duo back to return the punt from Trey Coleman, who's lined up at the 2-yard line. Oh, it's blocked. Into the end zone it goes, and it's a safety on Del Norte.
Wow.
What in the world is going on, Blake? By the way, the Costa Canyon blocked 3 punts last week against University City, and it makes the score 8-2.
Wow. 2 safeties in one half. You could go a whole season by just seeing 1 or 2 safeties. And that's just, the snap was good, the blocking wasn't. Coleman had his head down and just gave it a ride, and there were 2 La Costa Canyon Mavericks right there to block it. Made a clean block. They're able to run into the punter if the momentum takes them there, if they do get a piece of the ball.
Officials were conferring, but that conference quickly ended and they all hustle back to their sides. They haven't put the safety up on the board yet.
It looks like just a matter of time, though. I don't see anything else.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
So 8-2 officially, 10:48 to go. First half, we've seen 2 safeties, a punt opportunity for La Costa Canyon. The long snapper threw it behind the end zone, and right there, Trey Coleman had his punt blocked. 4 blocked punts for La Costa Canyon through a game and a quarter.
The Nighthawks didn't have that kind of problem last year or the year before. They've been pretty solid on that part of it.
And it might be La Costa Canyon's defense or their special teams.
I mean, it's going to happen once or twice a year, no question, but boy, they're sure costly. The Nighthawks, that ball could have fallen loose in the end zone and fallen on by the Mavericks and in a touchdown rather than just a safety.
So the ensuing kickoff goes back to the 15 where it's taken. Hole opens up, and down goes Mays. He actually lost the football, but I think he was down before he was, and a fantastic return for Andrew Mays. That's La Costa Canyon up just shy of the 50 at the 48.
Nice hit and tackle by Nathan Salee, 5'9", 165. He really powered into that ball carrier who in turn carried him upfield a few more yards, but that was a nice individual effort by that Nighthawk.
Beautiful evening gracing us here in North County, San Diego. Del Norte, the first of their 2-game road trip. They're down to Eastlake to South Bay next week. They're really covering the real estate here in the county. They'll head out east to Ramona later in the season. The first play of this drive for La Costa Canyon is a pitch out to Mays to the right, but it goes for a loss of 5 on the play.
Yeah, that's a lot of yards to lose on a run on first down. It looked to me like there was some movement just before the ball was snapped, but there was no flag.
You didn't wear your striped uniform today, Blake.
I don't want to be associated with those guys after all I've been bringing to their attention over the years.
I see. So you dish it out, but you can't take it is what you're saying.
Bingo.
2nd and 15.
Trips to our side.
Yeah, trips on the near side here for Quinn Roth. 8-2 the score. It's another delayed handoff to Mays. It goes for no gain on the play. It's 3rd and 15.
After another snap that was less than desirable, that ball went to Cole Pinard on a handoff. Nighthawks look a little better on this defensive stand.
3rd and 15 for the Mavericks. We have seen one really big passing play. That was to Trevor Ladd, and then the other completion was to Paco Martinez in the end zone. Other than that, it has been a pretty lackluster offensive showing on both sides. Del Norte has 1 completion, and it turned into a personal foul.
Right. Wow. Another
slow snap.
snap.
Good throw up the middle. Pass is complete to Bodie Estabrook. Estabrook sees nothing but daylight. A couple of tacklers miss, and he's through for a touchdown. A 42-yard receiving touchdown for Bodie Estabrook, and it's 14-2 pending the extra point.
Well, that's a heck of a pass by La Costa Canyon. The receiver ran a nice route, hit the seam. The Nighthawk defender seemed to go after the ball a little bit, and then it was too late to make a tackle, and that receiver was off to the races for a nice touchdown score by La Costa Canyon.
He was 5 for 32 last week. He gets his first touchdown of the new campaign this week. Connor Luoto back to kick the PAT. It's a bad snap, and this one will have to be taken. Could it be taken for 2? No, just short is Jackson Maggiore. So special teams continuing to be a problem, and the score remains 14-2.
Jake Warren with a nice tackle there. That's literally a 2-point tackle, Jonathan. If he doesn't make it, the Mavericks go up by 16-2.
Boy, this game has been fascinating, and not in the ways you would have expected.
Well, the good thing about the Nighthawks situation right here is that they're built for a comeback. They've got a high-octane offense. They can score quickly. They've got big receivers. They just got to get out there and do it, and they have not come anywhere near so far this evening.
Both these teams mirrored their records last year. Del Norte 7-5, 5-1 at home, 2-4 on the road. La Costa Canyon 5-1 at home, 2-4 on the road. You see the barbecue guys out there hard at work feeding the Del Norte faithful. Luoto to kick off. Actually, it's Maggione. Here under 9 minutes to play here in half number 1. It's 14-2. Del Norte looking for their first offensive touchdown of the evening.
Short kick. Ruggiero.
Yeah, this is Remigio.
Yeah.
And he bounces out towards the 35 into the La Costa Canyon pile. And a good return will set Jack Schneider and the offense up. Pretty decent field position. Officials, though, blowing a whistle.
Yeah, Ryan Remigio that's right, Jonathan.
And he was a really important part last week in both the passing game, the running game, and in the kick return game. There's a flag on the 25-yard line out near the left hash.
Looking in the area where it's against Del Norte.
I would agree. And Remigio was on that left side. He received the kickoff and cut right. Makes me wonder if maybe there's an illegal block in the back.
We interviewed him after the game and really enjoyed that. Yeah, that's a holding against the Nighthawks from the point of the infraction, which occurred at about the 22-yard line. So that ball's going to probably go back to about the 11.
Yep.
Check that, make it the 15.
Nominal difference. 8:51 to go here, half number 1.
Nighthawks are their own worst enemy. Untimely penalties, as though there was a timely penalty, and turnovers, and bad snaps. Just poor execution. This just doesn't look like the Nighthawk team that we saw last week.
Here's Schneider with the handoff. And Guzman gets dropped behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 2. That's actually Ryan Remigio. No, that is Christopher Guzman. The PA guy got it wrong. 2nd and 12. Not often you see Christopher Guzman get tackled for a loss on a play, but Costa Canyon's front 7 is ready.
I mean, I'd like to see the Nighthawks just complete a couple of short passes and just get some rhythm going. Once you get Schneider moving, they get a couple of passes completed, then you get the ball to Ty Olson to do what he does. But they've got to get some continuity going here.
Trips out to the strong side for Schneider. 8:07 and counting, half number 1, quarter number 2. Schneider downfield into triple coverage. Olson takes the brute force of the coverage, passes incomplete, and in coverage, a really good job by Rocco Kalin.
And 3 others. Boy, there was a lot of attention that Olson drew over in that side of the field.
And that sets up a 3rd and 12.
If Olson's going to get that kind of coverage, somebody else has got to be open, and whoever that is has got to come down with the ball.
Yeah, that was a design play to Olson, and Schneider didn't even look at his 2nd and 3rd options.
But you know what? He put the ball in a spot that maybe was catchable for a guy like Olson. He'll actually come up with that ball occasionally, even in traffic.
Here we go, 3rd and 12. Once again for Del Norte, they have really struggled to pick up any sort of productive yardage here in half number 1. Oh, Jack had time. Flushed out right, finds a hole, running up the middle. Mavericks converge, and he's taken down at the 22-yard line. So still short of the first down, about 2 yards. It was a 10-yard run for Jack, but deep in your own territory, you got to punt this one away. Now, the last time we saw a punt here, it turned into a safety after the block.
And it could have been a lot worse with that ball floating around in the end zone.
So Trey Coleman has a couple of offers, San Diego State, BYU, two teams who always sport good kickers. We're back to punt. And
gosh darn it, Nighthawks moved. The right tackle, number 44.
Trey Coleman, number 15, back to punt.
And actually, I don't think that's the call. I think there was a timeout, Blake.
No, that was on.
No, they're spotting the ball.
First down.
It's on the defense.
Well, the Nighthawks stayed poised there. I thought Anakin Alfano moved, and he did, but he was induced by a defender coming across the line of scrimmage, which I missed. So Alfano, Anakin, I apologize. I thought you committed a penalty there, but instead you stayed poised, which is what Coach asked us to do. Jonathan, want to thank a few more of our many sponsors here. I'll just have to try and squeeze one or two in here, including Bradley Hines Realty, Sell High, not a bad idea, and White Glove Golf, another sponsor for Del Norte.
Ball's on the 28-yard line.
7:04 to go and counting. Del Norte with a break. It's a 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line. Defense ready to pressure again. Guzman takes the handoff, finally finds a hole, and he continues to chug forward. The senior running back, a veteran, a leader on this team, gets a gain of 9 out of it at 2nd and 1.
Finally, a play that resembles last week's Nighthawk team. Guzman right off the guard spot there on the right. Nice read, good surge, good hole. Nighthawks 2nd and 2.
Guzman went 16 for 68 last week. He also had a reception. Last year was incredibly productive. He was a 1,000-yard rusher on 207 carries. He also had 7 touchdowns on the ground and 3 through the air, totaling 10.
I teased Christopher. He and I become good friends. I told him when he came in last year, he looked like he was going to break, just not big enough to endure the rigors of a full season, but boy, he did more than that.
2nd and 2, Guzman again gets the first down and some change out towards the 40. 4-yard run, Christopher Guzman. And Del Norte now finally feels like maybe they have a bit of continuity at least on the ground.
Well, I'm feeling a little better, Jonathan, so that's a start.
Good. If you're feeling better, Blake, I'm happy.
Yeah.
And I'm sure our viewers are happy too. They don't want you to be in peril.
It all just kind of comes together. Now when Schneider gets the snap and he fakes it to Guzman, you're going to have a linebacker that's got to respect the run a little bit more. That freezes the linebackers, leaves the secondary a little with another man not in it, creating more holes, and now the passing game becomes more effective. Let's see if the Nighthawks can move.
Tomlinson and Olsen to your right. Schneider looking out left. It's an out route. Pass is complete. That's Tyler Becker, and he's taken down after a gain of 6 on the play.
It was a very athletic move by Tyler after he caught the ball. He spun and came back to the inside, which is where the hole was. He wasn't able to keep his balance, but Jonathan, that's a play that he couldn't have made last year. He just wasn't as experienced as a football player as he is now. He's seasoned, and he's looking to, over the course of the season, he'll double that back and break one loose and get into the end zone.
Becker had a touchdown last year against Escondido in the season opener. That was it for him. Didn't have a touchdown last week, but did have 4 receptions. 4:45 and counting here in quarter number 2. Schneider, quick pull of the trigger. It's caught and complete for a first down. And a flag comes in late in the backfield.
Roughing the passer, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, Schneider may have gotten hit.
Yeah.
So Ty Olsen gets a gain of 10 on the play, but that ball might be pushed up just a tad more. You see Ty Olsen make a move down there after he made the catch?
Yeah, number 75, Terry Howe, picked up a blitz because the outside defender moved inside from the person he was covering and moved into a blitz, and Terry Howe saw it and picked it up, and that gave just enough time for Jack Schneider to launch the pass that was completed.
30-yard penalty is what it turns into. So a 1st and 10 all the way at the 24-yard line. The 29-yard line, excuse me. This is the best field position, or the best spot that Del Norte has had so far tonight. They're trailing 14-2. halfway through quarter number 2. Guzman rips off a run out to the weak side, and he gets 11 out of it.
Actually,
and that was Ty Olson.
That was Ty Olson.
Yeah, on the jet sweep.
He switched spots with Olson in a shift, and then got the ball on a jet sweep, and he's so smooth. He glides so well and runs efficiently, turns the ball upfield, avoids a tackler, spins and falls forward, and gets a Nighthawk first down.
Fooled the defense. He fooled the play-by-play guy as well. 4 minutes to go.
This is Nighthawk football, Jonathan. This is the kind of game the Nighthawks wanted to play when they showed up here earlier tonight.
Olson was lined up in the backfield. He trades places with Guzman now into the slot.
He's got double coverage out here, though, but it blitzes on him.
Yeah, blitz comes through. Pocket collapses, and Schneider goes down for a loss of 4 on the play. Great job by the front 7 for the Mavericks. That was led by Caden Miller, his second sack of the evening.
Yeah, they brought 5 defenders on that play into the backfield and dropped the other ones off. The Nighthawks got to read that more quickly and get that ball out of Schneider's hands. That's in part on the quarterback. It's part on the receivers too. The receivers have to recognize that and break their routes off quicker so that Schneider can get rid of the ball. If they don't do that, then he can't get rid of the ball because they're not watching him.
2:55 and counting here in quarter number 2.
Uh-oh.
And yeah, a little friendly fire right there. Olson collided with Guzman, who took the direct snap.
It looked like a wildcat and a direct snap. Oh, here we got a
Oh,
flag.
we got a ton of flags. There is some extracurricular activity going on out near the 20-yard line between a Maverick and a Nighthawk.
It looked like number 7, Caden Barnett, although he's not usually in on offense, so maybe I don't have that number right. The referee's huddling.
I saw Alexander Gonzalez back there as well for La Costa Canyon. So clock stops at 2:42. It's 14-2 here in quarter number 2. Del Norte looking for their first offensive points. They scored by way of a bad snap on a punt attempt by the Mavericks that went to the back of the end zone. And this could be a double foul, Blake, which means they would offset. Obviously, if you're... Now, there is some psychology behind this as a head coach for being okay with a situation like this. You want to see the fire in your guys. You don't want your player hurting another player, and you certainly don't want them to have conduct that's detriment to the team or to the game.
Yeah, coaches, they call it controlled rage, but those are oxymorons, right? But there you have it. That's what football's all about. You got to have that spark and that energy, that determination, a bit of craziness, but it's got to be controlled. Otherwise, they turn into penalties. Those efforts turn into penalties, and they can be destructive. Let's see, here we looks like offsetting.
Yeah, offsetting, double personal foul, offsetting penalties on the defense and on the offense.
So as the late Chick Hearn said, no harm, no foul here, I guess, or at least no impact. Well, no, they're marking it off against the Mavericks.
But there must have been another foul. So I think 2 personal fouls offset, and then there was another foul. This only moves the sticks up, or the line of scrimmage up 5 yards, though, so it must have been a short foul, and sets up a second and about 5 here for Del Norte.
Yeah, interesting. At Del Norte now we have the ability, we haven't executed yet.
Oh, third, excuse me.
To have the officials actually weigh in with a specific call on mic. We've got that capability. We haven't been able to roll it out yet. We had a technical problem last week, but stay tuned, folks. Another one of the outstanding innovations the Del Norte Athletic Foundation has brought to Del Norte Sports, as well as the Touchdown Club.
All right, so it'll be 3rd and 4 here on the 13.
Our leaders, Kyle Gilmore and Dave Wheeler, key parents in the program for many years that just keep bringing gifts to the Nighthawks, technology-wise and in other ways, for the benefit of our viewers.
All right, the clock stays at 2:42. This has been one of the longest first halves that we have been a part of, Blake, together. And it has not been because of the mass amount of points put up on the board.
And this drive is probably the longest one we've witnessed together as well. It's too bad, too, because the Nighthawks really had momentum moving the ball, but they're not able to really keep inspired play in and play out as the momentum is
Schneider
slowed.
rolls out right, cuts through the A gap, and he is dropped for a loss of 2 on the play. So it'll be a 4th and 6 now. Trey Coleman time to try and boot this one through. It's about 32 yards on the field goal attempt.
Well, that's certainly within Trey Coleman's range.
We saw a 43-yarder last week.
Nighthawks long snapper Eli Gilmore, who's getting a lot of attention for his work in that area.
Jack Christensen, the holder. Here we go. Del Norte looking for their first offensive points of the evening. 1:55 and counting in quarter number 2. It's 14-2. Trey Coleman. Ooh, was that off left?
Good to me.
It was. No, it was good. So 14-5 now. How many times have you seen 5 points in a football game?
Well, that's an unusual, it's been an unusual half. The Nighthawks finally put together an impressive scoring drive and come up with 3 points, but they still trail by 9, so the Nighthawks got some work to do still to get the continuity and sustainable on there.
We welcome you back into our booth, Blake. Jonathan, delighted to be with you. It's been quite a ball game, Blake, and again, I'm not sure if it's for the right reasons, but gives you something to talk about, that's for sure.
I almost would have understood this game if it was the first week, but in week 2, after both teams played so confidently and
played pretty good teams too last week. It wasn't like, you're playing D5 teams. Both these teams had good competition a week ago, handled them easily, but here tonight, a bit of a different story. Trey Coleman's ensuing kickoff goes well into the end zone for a touchback.
I want to thank a few more of Del Norte's numerous sponsors, including Bold Smiles, Family and Cosmetic Dentistry, and the Isaacson Group at Pacifica Capital Investments, focused value investing in public equities and commercial real estate for long-term results, and Golden West Management, your neighborhood property managers.
All right, Quinn Roth back out there. Gives it to Mays, bouncing out right. Lowers the shoulder, he's taken down. And Jack Christensen on the play. That run goes for no gain, 2nd and 10.
It's pretty clear what La Costa Canyon seems to want to do, which is fake to one side or have the ball go to one side and then have an option to go back to the other side of the field. So they want to divide that defense. That creates a seam up the middle if they're able to exploit it. But so they're attacking the edges on either side of the ball.
70 seconds to go and a timeout on the field, Blake. So we have seen 2 touchdowns for La Costa Canyon, but a missed PAT.
And then a safety. That's how you get to 14.
Safety. Del Norte has had a safety and an extra, a field goal. Both teams are being creative in how they're getting points, but it's not traditional.
Right. Well, the Nighthawks down by 9, so that requires 2 possessions in order to make up that deficit. Even with a 2-point conversion would only net you 8 points.
Nighthawks have only found themselves in Mavericks territory once so far tonight. They did go for it on 4th down on drive number 1. They were stopped short. La Costa Canyon has had 2 big plays through the air.
Jonathan wanted to mention something about the Nighthawks' schedule this year. Boy, do they have a tough one, as evidenced by what happened last week. On their remaining 9 games, the teams went 7-2, and one of the reasons there was a loss was because Rancho Bernardo and Poway, both on their schedule, played each other. So the games where there wasn't a forced loss, it was 7-1.
I saw Ramona last night on Your View Channel 4. Had the pleasure of calling that game with John Schaefer, and Ramona looks good. They have a sophomore, Atticus Enriquez, who is going to put the county on paper. Here's a long throw from Roth, right sideline. Pass is incomplete.
Boy, nice defense there.
Yeah, Jack Christensen in coverage. Pass was intended for Paco Martinez.
Yeah, nice play. He was there the whole time. He turned. You have to be concerned about pass interference because the coverage was so excellent. but he was there and all legal, and brings up a third down. Nighthawks, excuse me, Jonathan, Nighthawks stop them here. They're going to have good field position and another scoring opportunity. Big
107 is where the clock stops here in quarter number 2. Defense looking to blitz, perhaps, on a 3-4 look. They don't. It's good coverage up the middle, but a better throw and a great catch. Oh, it was not caught. It was a good-looking throw, but Estabrook couldn't hold on.
Yeah, I thought he caught that ball too, Jonathan. It must have squirmed out down below where we couldn't see it. But so, and the clock stopped with the incomplete pass was a minute 2. The Nighthawks are going to get the ball back.
Yeah, Ty Olson lines up back at the 45. A twirling punt is fair, caught at the 44. They're actually going to give him the courtesy on the 45. And the Nighthawks will have to go 55 yards to try and get in the end zone. They'll have 57 seconds to do it.
Or they could use Trey Coleman's foot to get the 3-pointers to get one of those scores.
With the caveat in mind that they are receiving the ensuing kickoff outside of halftime.
Right.
Student section right in front of us here at La Costa Canyon, getting into it. Makes me want to put my hands in the air,
yeah,
Blake.
I mean, it reminds me of what happens at Nighthawk Field. The enthusiastic crowd support. Everybody's into it, the energy.
But that's San Diego football for you, Blake. It's just such a good culture here. No matter where you go, every fan base has their own identity, and it's all fun to participate in. Jack Olson to Oliver Hines, incomplete. Hines looked like he wasn't expecting the pass.
Yeah, that's the second time Oliver was targeted that he wasn't able to come down with it with the ball that was appeared to be catchable.
That was very catchable.
Yeah.
And it was a slant up the seam. It felt like that was the intended play, and immediately Hines will get subbed out here.
Oliver didn't play last year. He had broken collarbone that he re-injured after coming back.
Jack Christensen is in on the offensive side on the left slot. How about that? Tomlinson and Olsen to your right. Tyler Becker is the Y. Schneider has to get rid of it. It's incomplete. Great pressure by the Mavericks. And the pressure was led by E.J. Bandrith on the defensive line.
Yeah, Schneider just stepped back, and he had somebody in his face right away. He got rid of it. Nighthawks had a shot at completing that pass. It was a good effort by Schneider, but you know what? That ball was at risk and gets tipped or something, picked up, and that's a pick 6. So Nighthawks got to watch it themselves here.
3rd and 10, 48 seconds to go. So it's only taking 9 seconds for La Costa Canyon to force Del Norte into a 3rd down situation.
I mean, everybody in the stadium knows that Schneider now is just going to be looking for Olsen, but the defense is part of it.
Yeah, defense playing cover 2, so they do have 2 guys in the secondary. Olsen will be picked up in double coverage. Schneider gets eaten up in the backfield. It's another sack on the play, and oof, it has been tough sledding for the quarterback, Jack Schneider, the reigning offensive player of the week in the county. Nash Cooper getting his first sack of the evening.
That was number 75. I believe that was Terry Howe that came up a little bit damaged on that one. He made his block. The pressure came from the other side, but it looked like he got his hip involved. The problem with the Nighthawks is they only took a few seconds off the clock, and now Coleman's got a punt.
Yeah, it was a 15-second offensive possession for Del Norte.
It's just not. That's not how you win football games.
14-2, or rather 14-5 is the score. Flip that 2 into a mirror, and you get 5.
Yeah, closing out a half is an important component of winning football games.
Especially when you're receiving, because you want the momentum to be in your favor. And La Costa, neither team has really felt like they've been in control of this football game, but the scoreboard has La Costa Canyon winning. And at the end of the day, it's sort of what matters in this game.
Well, I was hoping that the Nighthawks, after that last drive that was where they showed some good continuity and momentum and timing, although it was broken up by penalties, might be able to seize on that and continue in that direction. But that drive was not good at all. Had a very hard time protecting the quarterback, and here we are punting again, and they've already had one block tonight. The Nighthawks really got to prevent that from happening here.
42 seconds to go. Trey Coleman back to punt. A pair of Mavericks to receive.
Decent snap.
Yeah, this is a good punt. Oh, and this takes a really good Nighthawk bounce all the way to the 7-yard line. and that's where it's tapped down. So
About the 5-yard line.
maybe the best play by the Nighthawks all evening long, and it was a punt by Trey Coleman.
Yeah, sad but true. Just got a lucky bounce there. But I'm sure La Costa Canyon's just going to sit on this one so deep in its own territory.
You just have to be careful if you're La Costa Canyon that you keep that ball out of the end zone. They spotted it at the 6, so not a lot of room to maneuver for Quinn Roth.
Not at all.
Mavericks on their own 6-yard line with
The
32
Nighthawks
seconds
have, I
remaining.
think, just one timeout, so they're only going to be able to stop the clock once. I don't even know if they'll do that. I'd expect them to go into what's called a victory formation where they're just around the ball. No, they have a receiver out.
Del Norte is piling
Single
up on the line.
coverage out here. I don't really like that.
This is interesting. It's going to be a handoff. Mays has a hole, even though Del Norte brought the house. Here comes Mays, staying on his feet, past the 35 to the 40, and he is taken down thereafter after erupting for a huge run on the play. 33 yards on the run for Andrew Mays on a play where the defense knew it was coming.
Boy, that was a potential disaster there. He was breaking tackles and almost broke it all the way, it looked like.
Roth gets it to Mays after the snap.
Contain.
Yeah, he sheds one, but then gets pushed out of play, maybe a yard on that.
Passes to number 7, Andrew Mays.
That, I believe is a rushing attempt. I think he was behind
I agree.
Roth.
Which means that was a lateral, which meant that the ball came out. It would have been at risk.
Yeah, you hate those.
I
You
don't-
made it very clear last week.
Yeah, the risk return is not there.
If I ever coach, I'll make sure I don't consult you on my offensive playbook.
Right, or I'll come down in the stands and let you hear about it.
8 seconds to go here in the first half. It has been a wild first half, not for the reasons we may have thought. It's been an hour and 14 minutes of intrigue. It's probably the best way to put it. And a timeout on the field.
At the end of the half, we're going to have the stats available because we've got our chief statistician for many years, Scott Wells, available doing the stats again tonight.
His efforts are greatly appreciated.
He had his son go through this program, Nick, who's attending community college locally.
And this looks like an I formation for the offense. So another run up the middle, perhaps, maybe a kneel. Here's the run. Mays takes it. Mays bouncing out left. Again has space. What a production from the running back here in the first half for the Mavericks, and that will do it for half number one.
They called it with 1 second left.
Oh, so interesting.
But
No, I think you have to.
I agree. That was the half should have
Both teams
expired
are ready
there,
to end this game, or end this half, rather.
Yeah. The Mavericks called a timeout.
They
but
put .1 on the clock. They don't even put 1 on the clock. Like, they put .1.
that's a homer call. That's that clock expired. This is going to give the Mavericks one more play if it holds, and it looks like
Yeah, it will. So another good run for Mays. It's going to be first and 10 from the 46 with 1/10 of a second to go here in a brutal first half. I don't care if you're a Maverick fan or a Nighthawk fan. If you're a Maverick fan, you're taking a sigh of relief that your team is winning, but boy, it has not been pretty.
we'll look at the replay tonight when this last play goes down, because I got to tell
I'll
you.
leave that to you.
Yeah. 1/10 of a second at home with your team having the ball and a Hail Mary available. They've got trips to the quarterback's right on the far side of the field from us.
And Ty Olson is the free safety in the secondary for Del Norte, just off the left of your screen. Roth ready. Here's the snap. Rolling out right, looking for the trio of receivers, and he goes down. Ball
loose.
can't, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
They do have to make an indication for the fumble. It goes into the stat sheet. But that is a fitting way for this half to end.
Well put, Jonathan. Sloppy, not particularly well coordinated. The timing off for both sides. Not a pretty half. I'll bet both of these teams are going to get chewed out when they get into their locker room.
All right, so 15 minutes is our halftime break. I'm going to step aside. Blake, when we return, will have stats for you here. You're watching Del Norte and La Costa Canyon. It's live on a Friday night from Nest TV. Back with you in a moment for all the stats from half number one. 14-5, the Mavericks lead the Nighthawks.
Give it up for your cheerleaders!
Schneider looking to throw, dumps it out across the 50.
Guess who?
Yeah, it's Ty Olson cutting around the strong side. Into the 25, he's pushed out just shy of the 18 on the coverage. The holder, Trey Coleman, gets the season going. Third and 17. And that's exactly what Jack is thinking, but instead he finds some real estate. Stays on his feet through one.
Do anybody make real anymore? Bow in the presence of greatness. 'Cause right now that has forsaken us. You should be honored by my lateness. That I would even show up to this space. So go ahead, go nuts, go ape. Especially in my pastel on my page. Act like you can't tell who made this new gospel, homie. Take 6 and take this, haters. That don't kill me. Can only make me stronger.
Olsen deep into the end zone. It's caught. Touchdown, Nighthawks.
Me like it. I don't know if you got a man or not. If you made plans or not. If God put me in your plans or not.
Got knocked down with the throw. It's intercepted. Jake Gregory securing night number 1 for Del Norte. It's week 2 of high school football, and Del Norte is on the road at La Costa Canyon. Jonathan Rifkin, I'm here with Coach Nick Barnett. Coach, these are the confines that help build your coaching acumen. How does it feel to be back here?
You know, it feels good. My kids play Pop Warner up here. You know, I lived here for, 10 years. So, I mean, it's definitely, it's another home for me, but my new home is Del Norte, and I'm loving that as well. It's a great opportunity to play against kids that we've raised and we've grown. There's probably not a kid on any of these teams that me or my coaches haven't coached in the Pop Warner circuit. So, you know, it feels good. It's going to be bittersweet when we win our game and feel sorry for them, but because they lost. I mean, I'm just talking. But, you know, this game has got to be won on the field, obviously, so I know that. I'm just, you know, but I feel that our guys are ready to play, and if they do what they're supposed to do, I feel that we should be able to win this game.
Well, let's talk about a game that you guys have already won. Last week, you guys beat Torrey Pines at home. That was your coaching debut. What were the feelings from that game, and how do you feel about your team?
I thought my team was exactly what I thought they were. They were a physical team. They're running to the ball. They want to win. They're committed. They're dedicated. They're all about it. Now we just got to do that against another great coach team and a good team that's got some athletic ability and some D1 prospect type of players. So, and a lot of my guys are looking for that opportunity to prove themselves against great players. There's no better day than today. Today is a great day to be great, and we're looking forward to it.
Coach, you just amped me up. Let's get it. All right, coming up on the other side is
I'm ready when you ain't got no.
No pressure, thank God I breathe. Cause shit I speak is what they need, I tell no lies. I'm still up top and still can't drop what they not. Yeah. Last day was filled over slaps, I guess gotta run this back. Didn't like the way this shit went down. After it was, I admit it turned to a beast. It's that right here that get me going. After I pop me a piece, whether we killing the critics and killing the hate.
I don't know what you've been told, but time is running out.
the United Dance Team. Great job out there this evening. Fantastic work. Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Could we get all the Pop Warner football coaches up here by the concessions? We need a little crowd control for your football teams. Could you please come up here and help corral your football teams? That's probably the best term. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present the Maverick Brigade. Give it up for that Maverick Brigade. Fantastic job this evening, everyone.
14-5 as we welcome you back here to Maverick Stadium. A gorgeous evening in North County, San Diego. Blake Isaacson, Jonathan Rifkin, delighted to be with you. And well, Blake, this was a first half that had everything but a multitude of touchdowns and completions, and Del Norte finds themselves trailing by 9.
Yeah, I had a lot of miscues, Jonathan, which the statistics back up, unfortunately, for the Nighthawks. They had only 3 first downs, rushing yardage, 14 carries, and only got 24 yards. Get this, only 1 completion for 6 yards. This is one of the high-octane passing offenses in the whole county, and it's had as poor a half as it could possibly have. 1 touchdown, no touchdowns, and 1 interception to boot. No fumbles, only 1 penalty for 5 yards on offense, although the play seemed a lot sloppier than that. No third down conversions on 8 attempts, and only 1 of 2 on 4th down. They did make a field goal, and they had that safety, of course. On the other side of the ball, the Costa Canyon did a little bit better, but not much. 15 carries for 36 yards, so just a little over 2 yards a carry. They did complete 7 passes, wow, for 109 yards, 7 for 11. They threw for a touchdown, but had 7 penalties for 79 yards. Jonathan, that's the statistic that occurred last week as well. The Costa Canyon kept a team that wasn't up to its peer in the game through penalties, according to its coach. They were 2 for 7 on third down conversions and missed a field goal attempt. Overall, sloppy play on both sides of the ball. The Nighthawks executed more poorly than La Costa, and thus they trailed by 9 points, 14-5.
Well, let's go to the second half here, Blake. What are some of the things that you would like to be cleaned up? Let's start with the Mavericks, and then we'll go to the Nighthawks.
Yeah, well, on the Mavericks side of the ball, they're having a hard time with the snaps. They're not blocking particularly well on offense and springing that talented running back. They got a few good carries there at the end of the half, but overall that was when the Nighthawks were in more of a prevent defense and looking for the pass. So they really weren't able to do much in terms of carrying the ball. That was good for the Nighthawk the defense. And their passing game was effective at times, but it didn't dominate anything. And then they had all those penalties as well. I'd say that all that the Mavericks are going to be looking to do is just execute better.
Our crew wants to show you a shot of the moon, so we're going to give them their moment here. That's the quality of camera work that we have here on Nest. I mean, that is a live shot of the moon. You can see the craters on that thing.
Pretty amazing technology that we have available
And
to
well
us.
done by our entire staff on the road. Pretty tough setup. Everybody working hard and bringing you some high-quality football. Well, I don't know if it's high quality. They're bringing you football on a Friday night.
We got football. Want to say thanks to Josh Stein and the Storjuk brothers, Daniel and Michael, who work closely with us here. And thanks for those halftime stats also to Scott Wells.
Let's move to Del Norte. Some keys for them here in half number 2.
Well, the keys, let's just go back to our keys of the game and see how we're doing. Number 1 was protect Schneider, and they haven't done that very well at all, and that's a problem. If Schneider doesn't have time to throw, then he can't get the ball to his quartet of Oliver Hines and Nick Well and Ty Olson, Tomlinson, and Becker. It's just been 1 pass completion. And then the third thing the Nighthawks needed to do was maintain their poise and composure. I'll say this, they haven't collapsed completely, but they seem to be on the verge of it at various times. The key I'd like to see them going forward, just get the ball out, complete a couple of short passes, get some momentum, get that running game. That one drive the Nighthawks had, not the last one before the half ended that they had on offense, the one before that where they moved upfield. It looked like they were finally getting their continuity and timing down, but the penalties on the other side of the ball actually worked to their disadvantage. Even though they were getting yardage, they never got that momentum that was sustainable on offense.
Yeah, continuity has come through penalties. It's come through miscues, high snaps, fumbled snaps, dropped passes, and just 2 teams who really aren't on the same page. We've seen a bit more continuity in the RPO. You mentioned 7 for 11. 7 completions for 109 yards. That is probably 10 yards per completion, more than you would like if you're Nick Barnett and company.
Yeah, but they haven't damaged the Nighthawks in the passing game. This ball game is available for either team to just put some offense together, eliminate the mistakes, the bad snaps, the incomplete, the passes into sloppy into coverage. It's just been all out of sync. The Nighthawks can solve this and get back in this game, but the Mavericks can do that as well. This one's available to either team, I think.
All right, Del Norte will return the kickoff here. Well, they'll receive the kickoff, I guess. I don't know if they'll return it. It could be in the end zone.
We got a minute here to thank our gold sponsors. Sorry, our silver sponsors. The ones that I didn't have a chance of mentioning. And they are Flippin' Pizza, New York Pies and Slices, Marston Orthodontics, Toyota of Poway, who brings us keys to the game, Brandt Electric, experience, quality, integrity, and Handles Homemade Ice Cream at Del Mar. They were at one of our events not long ago, and they brought ice cream. Quite yummy.
All right, let's reset this game, Blake. It's 14-5. We have a fresh 24 minutes here and half number 2 to go. The first half took 1 hour and 17 minutes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
And we'll see here if Jackson Maggiore can force the Nighthawks into some tough field position to open up half number 2. The student section has been alive all evening long for the Mavericks, and they're trying to power the team in green and gold to a victory.
A game like this is where players make plays. The Nighthawks' top player, big play guy, is Ty Olson. Let's see if he can bust one loose.
Ty Olson back to receive. Here he goes from the 5. That was a good kick by Maggiore. Olson bouncing off a would-be tackler, gets an extra tackle. Or a block, I should say, out to the 25 is where this possession will begin for Del Norte. So a gain of a really toughed out 20 yards for Ty Olson. And Jack Schneider will lead his offense back on the field.
Yeah, the return wasn't very well blocked, and one of the first defenders to come up hit Ty. He bounced off of him because he didn't wrap the way it's taught tacklers should do, would-be tackler. So he bounced off of that, spun to the outside, picked up a few more yards. I did notice a nice block after that by number 3, Nathan Salee. Second time we've mentioned him. That young man's making the most of his opportunities.
So remember when Del Norte, to end the half, or their last possession of the first half, went 3 and out in 9 seconds? That kickoff return took 8 seconds. So that kickoff return was as long as that drive by Del Norte, their final drive. So Jack Schneider comes out here with 5 wide. All alone in the backfield. Defense shifting out to the right, anticipating perhaps a throw to Schneider's left. First play of half number 2 begins. Schneider keeps it himself, sheds a tackle, and he is wrapped up by the shoelaces after a gain of 4 on the play.
The freshman Anthony Matar, number 25 in the game. He's a freshman, and he is a low center of gravity fullback type back.
He had 3 rushes last week.
And the Nighthawks are interested in working him into the offense in the early part of this season as much as possible so they can find out what he's got. He's a very determined runner. He gets hit and keeps going. So they want to give him an opportunity, but there was a passing situation or a passing call. They want him more in the backfield to run.
Yeah, defense, and an interesting look right here. There was a zone safety in the secondary, everybody else in man. Schneider looking to pass, pocket collapses. Schneider out to the left. Hurdles a defender, stiff arms another, and he is out towards the 50. A massive gain by Jack Schneider. He hasn't been able to do it through the air, but he gets it done on the ground. A gain of 17 and moves the sticks.
Schneider's resourceful. If he doesn't have time to throw and he can use his legs to get out of the pocket, he can put it under his elbow and take off and run for good distance and a nice first down there.
See the coaching staff. That's Rudy Bentoncourt, one of the line coaches. His brother Ryan, also a line coach. Matar to the left of Jack Schneider here. Matar's bigger than Guzman and Remigio, which means that he can block for Schneider. Trips out to the right side, Olson, that third receiver in the slot. Hines all alone to his left. Schneider looks that way, keeps it, keeps it, turns the corner, and gets a gain of 3 or so.
Well, La Costa Canyon is doing what it wants to do on defense according to its game plan. They want to put pressure on Schneider and force him to do something other than win this game with his arm. If he can beat him with the run, that may be good on a drive here or there, but that's not what the Nighthawks want to accomplish on offense.
Jack was productive running last week, 10 rushes, 54 yards. Last year, at 255 rushing yards. 9:30 to go here in quarter number 3. It's a throw behind. Was the catch made? It was. What a grab by Ty Olson.
Yeah, the ball came out of Schneider's hands behind Olson, but he was able to spin away from the quarterback, grab the ball behind him, and hold on to it while he hit the ground. Nice play by Ty Olson.
So 3 first downs now on this drive, Blake. That's more first downs. That's as many first downs as they had in the first half. Ball into Maverick territory. It's 1st and 10 from the 39, 3 minutes into half number 2.
This is still not the kind of, I'm happy to see him doing it, but it's not the kind of drive the Nighthawks game plan this evening.
Hey, sometimes you have to be resilient and adjust on the fly. And that's what Jack Olson and company are doing. Look how far out the Hines and Becker are to the right. Can't even see them on your screen. It's Ty Olson on the jet sweep. How about splitting the pair as he's finally taken down? That is a well-earned gain of 5 on the play for Olson.
Yeah, Ashton Tomlinson with a nice block out there on the left-hand side. Number 1, I don't even think we've called Ashton's name tonight. He's expected to be one of the top 2 or 3 receivers on this offense, and I don't even think he's been targeted once.
Yeah, he came in earlier as a substitute but wasn't targeted. Last year, dropped a few passes and some punt returns. Turned out he needed contacts. And as soon as he got contacts, he had his best game of the season, 3 receptions, 122 yards against San Pasqual.
And he had an excellent summer camp and preseason and scrimmages and whatnot.
Schneider flushed out left, toe in the line. That is a dangerous pass. And it's incomplete.
Yeah, Schneider and Olson know each other so well. Their chemistry's excellent. Schneider waved him to go deep and then ran out of time. Ty broke it back to the line of scrimmage for a back shoulder pass, and Schneider tried to get it there, but the defense was very strong there.
So 3rd and 6 here for the Nighthawks. Ball in the 34, clock stopped at 7:52 in quarter number 3. Schneider again, empty backfield. And now he is joined by the freshman Anthony Matar. Quick pass out wide. Hines finally makes a grab, and it's a big one, Blake. That goes for a gain of 9 on the play and moves the sticks.
I think that's Becker, actually.
Was that
number
Tyler Becker?
11.
I saw 7. It was a 1. You are correct, sir.
And so that's good to see that some players other than Olson coming down with some receptions and giving
Second reception for Becker here.
Yeah, Schneider some other options than just Olson.
Becker out to the right, Matar back into the backfield. Olson's alone on the left side and whistles. Timeout maybe?
Looked like an official timeout.
There must have been a communication error with the officials. And we're back to football. Yeah. 7:25 and counting, quarter number 3. Schneider to the right. There's Oliver Hines right on cue. And he is out to the 15-yard line. That is a gain of 12 on the play. And just like that, red zone offense now for Del Norte, the first time that they have been in the red zone this evening.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan, generally speaking, of that bubble screen because the ball's in the air for significant yardage, but you're only getting a few yards upfield. But I like the fact that it's easier to complete a pass that's behind the line of scrimmage or near it. And let's get that continuity, get somebody else involved. Hines broke upfield.
Yeah, Hines heard that I may have actually mistaken him for Tyler Becker on the previous throw and decided to get in on the action thereafter.
He did that.
High snap, Schneider.
God.
And stays on his feet before he's greeted by a duo of green and gold jerseys. That goes for a loss of 2 on the snap. That is the 5th bad snap we've seen this evening for Del Norte. Not something that you want to see as a coach.
No, just when they get a few good things going and get that continuity and timing, it's disrupted by a bad snap or. Nighthawks got to cure this stuff. This is not how.
We didn't see one bad snap a week ago.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a difference in turf. I'm not sure. Playing on the road here. 6:08 and counting, quarter number 3. Del Norte milking drive number 1 of half number 2. Hines is next to Schneider. Now he swapped with Matar, and it turns into a pistol look. And I think a Del Norte Nighthawk may have twitched on that line.
Yeah, Matar was in the backfield, and he moved his shoulders after going set. I think one player is allowed to move, but not suddenly like that, I guess.
And
The Costa players brought it to the attention of the officials, and one finally threw his flag, and that is 5 yards against the Nighthawks.
And Christopher Guzman will come in for the freshman Matar for the first time on this drive.
That's too bad. I was looking forward to them giving him the ball and watching him work the inside.
Yeah, it felt like that was going to be a power run, right? 2nd and 17, 5:35 to go, quarter number 3. Mavericks defense putting the clamps down here deep into their own territory. The line to gain is the 22.
Olsen's open here. Let's get single coverage out there. Schneider saw it.
Yeah, he saw it. He overthrew it. It's incomplete. It's 3rd and 17.
That was nice defense there. Olsen wanted the pass interference call.
I learned through a text message that there is no such thing as a non-catchable ball in high school football.
Right.
So a pass interference is a pass interference through and through at this level of the sport, so I will not even make that argument here tonight.
Right, it's based on contact when the ball's in the air.
And there is a flag. Oh, no, that's the football. The reflection of the light on the football. I might need glasses, Blake. Can I borrow your readers?
Get him from Ashton Tomlinson. He seems to
I can't put contacts in.
know somebody that can help you.
Might have a good optometrist. 3rd and 17 for Schneider, flushed out right. Has some time left. Pocket collapses. He's taken down. It's actually a gain of 1 on the play, but nonetheless, that should bring out Trey Coleman and the special teams group.
Well, a field goal here would bring the Nighthawks to within 6 points of La Costa Canyon, and so this would be a very worthwhile kick if Coleman's able to convert.
You know, the drive started at the 25. It was very productive, and then it stalled. And what made it stall really was that high snap that forced Schneider back. And all of a sudden, you feel like you have the defense on their heels a bit, and you can't reward yourself.
It seemed like it changed the momentum back to just when the problems were being forgotten. They reappeared.
23-yarder for Trey Coleman. I think it was tipped. Yeah, that kick was tipped. It hits off of the post, and that field goal is incomplete. A look of befuddlement here by the Del Norte faithful. It is not often you see a field goal within 40 yards go off the post there by Trey Coleman.
It looked like a good snap and spot. Coleman came up, but it looked like that there was penetration on the.
It felt like it was tipped, right? The way that ball moved.
Yeah, left-hand side of the line, and it was just tipped enough to hamper its progress, and it hit the crossbar and fell down. Doink.
So 1st and 10 from their own 20. For the Mavericks, first offensive opportunity for them. It's Mays with a huge hole. Mays weaves his way to the 30, to the 10. It's an 80-yard touchdown for the running back, Andrew Mays. (20 to 6). 20 to 5, rather.
Well, that's the big play that the Nighthawks wanted to avoid, and they've been playing the field position game fairly effectively, considering they're just not all on the same page tonight. But that's a big play that blows this thing wide open.
It's the longest touchdown run of Mays' varsity career. 80 yards, the longest play Del Norte has given up in quite some time. I don't know if they gave up a play that big last year. And the PAT looks really good, and it's through. 21-5, La Costa Canyon, one play, 80 yards. And Del Norte at least gets the ball back very quickly.
Yeah, it was a nice run off tackle, and Mays found the hole, and there was nobody in the secondary to come up to the hole once he broke through it, and he got into the secondary. He was just off and going. So this was one of the keys to the game that Coach Barnett mentioned before the game, and that was this is a team capable of some big plays. How the Nighthawks respond is going to be critical. Can they now grab the ball and either come up with a big play or a scoring drive, or are they going to fold their 10?
Jackson Maggiore with the kick. Bit of a line drive. Ty Olson will catch it in the end zone, but it turns into a touchback. He actually caught it just shy of the end zone, but he backtracked, and that's a touchback, which probably worked out for the best.
Well, anytime you get the ball in Ty Olson's hand with some
there's always a
open
chance.
field,
That is true. But he
I
was
like
going
that.
backwards.
Yeah.
The special teams unit for the Mavs were coming.
Yeah.
4:23 is where the clock stops here. Del Norte begins drive number 2 of half number 2. They started on the 25-yard line on the previous drive. Trey Coleman missed a 33-yard field goal. A rarity for the superstar kicker, one of the best in the country.
And we'll have to look at the tape on that one. Again, I think it was blocked, so
As
you
do
really
I.
can't blame that on Trey.
Here's Jack Schneider now. Spread offense in effect. Defense with a bit of a shift. Guzman takes the handoff, carrying the line with him, gets 3 on the play. Nick Barnett in his first season. Sean Sovakul in season number 14 for the Mavs, one of the veteran coaches in all of San Diego. He and Coach Damon Baldwin at Ramona, the longest tenured coaches in North County, San Diego.
Well, Coach Sovakul is just 40 years old. He got the head job when he was 26, and he's put together a heck of a program here at La Costa Canyon. Trips to the right, near side for us. Schneider in the backfield, hands it to Guzman, darts upfield, comes near to first down, but he's a little short.
He got 7 yards out of it. Wow, Blake, that was some expert play-by-play right there. I was having a conference with our director, Daniel Storajuk, and you made the most of your time to shine, let me tell you, friend.
That's it, yeah.
3rd and 1.
Wonder if ESPN will call.
Are you coming for my job now?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're blessed to have Jonathan with us. He's a professional
stop it.
announcer, as you can tell. Calls games for ESPN Plus and throughout the Mountain West. Volleyball and soccer, right, Jonathan?
Men's basketball. I'll be doing Division 1 men's basketball this year. You can catch me locally on Your View and Spectrum. Calling high school football. Here's the freshman Batar chugging his way. Gets 5 and some change. That'll move the sticks. I guess I should keep plugging myself.
Attaboy.
I'm also locally on iHeartRadio. You can hear me on the Darren Smith Show from 12 to 3, Monday through Friday. I have been talking about Del Norte. Each week I will tell you this, and then I will stop with the self-promotion. Each week I give our listeners on the Darren Smith Show an opportunity to critique one of my play-by-play calls. And the play-by-play calls that I will be using during the fall are going to be from Del Norte football. So we are going to be promoting this team throughout the fall season on the Darren Smith Show. Matar switches with Hines in the backfield. Schneider on the snap. Ooh, there may have been a block in the back by Matar. Wasn't picked up by the official. Does not matter. A huge loss on the play. We'll call it 8 yards on the sack, as Schneider has had no time for much of this evening.
Not a good possession or play there by the Nighthawks. They just out of sync. It's too bad. They were starting to move the ball here, and now they're stalled once again.
Yeah, 2nd and 18. Line to gain is the 43. The spot is back at the 25.
I mean, the Nighthawks need to protect Schneider better, and they're really not doing anything to adjust to the pressure of the defense.
And it's a botch snap again. Schneider gets on top of it, and it will be Del Norte football, but another loss on the play all the way back to the 18. That goes for a loss of 7 more yards, Blake.
I mean, among the things that you can do if empty backfields aren't working or a single back are not generating the time that you need, you can use an H-back and keep a tight end in and devote another blocker to stopping the oncoming pass rush. You can roll out and have the quarterback sprint out of the pocket, particularly one that runs well like Schneider. The Nighthawks just seem to be leaning back and taking it, and I'm not sure that's the approach that's going to work tonight.
And timeout by Coach Sovacool and the Mavericks defense. He wanted to switch up his personnel. Looked like a few green jerseys who were waiting to come in couldn't get subbed in. So first timeout taken here by the Mavericks. Blake, go ahead.
Well, want to get back and thank some more of our sponsors, our diamond sponsors tonight. The Monraz Company, TMC, owned and operated by the Monraz family, whom we all know well. And Sheila Goodkin of Coldwell Banker West, luxury property specialists and mechanical systems contractors, or MSC for short.
So La Costa Canyon has had one possession here in half number 2. It was an 80-yard touchdown run on the first play of that possession by Andrew Mays, the running back. Del Norte's in possession number 2. They stalled in the red zone after a missed field goal attempt by Trey Coleman. And here on drive number 2 of the half, it is a third and very long, 3rd and 25 for Del Norte.
Well, that's a tough play to call. It's going to be difficult to throw the ball upfield without putting it at risk. Can run a short pass and run.
Daniel Shorzuk, our director, having a little too much fun up here, I think. Schneider searching for space. There are just green jerseys everywhere. He finds some, though. Across to the 40, and he is out. Ooh, at the 41 maybe? They're going to call it at the 40. The line to gain was the 43, so that was 3 yards short. A 22-yard run, though. But you can't keep relying on Jack Schneider to turn nothing into something if you're the offense, and it's going to be punting time once again.
All right, it's riddled with problems when your quarterback is in the open field. He can get knocked down and hurt temporarily or even worse.
And there is a Maverick down. Oof.
Well, this doesn't look good.
No, not at all. So
holding the back of his left knee, I believe.
Yeah, we'll let you know who that is when we are able to get a number. But that's the 3rd Maverick to go down. We certainly hope he's okay. I already see sitting on the bench on the near side with his helmet off is Xavier Hart. Yeah, that's tough.
Actually, that's a cramp. That's a calf cramp.
Yeah, okay. So as frustrating and as uncomfortable as that might be, it is workable as the training staff here for the Mavs will work on that. Clock stops at 38 seconds here in half number 2. In quarter number 3.
We see an increasing number of these calf cramps in football. I'm not sure why. It's not particularly hot right now.
Nash Cooper.
Cooper, he was mentioned to me by their coach when I interviewed him. Let me see if I can dig up from my notes what Coach Sovacool said about him.
38 seconds to go. Trey Coleman is out there ready to punt it away. Looks like Cooper's okay.
Nash Cooper, he was their Rock of the Week. That means their toughest player from beginning to end of the game. He got an award.
Very nice.
Nice snap.
Here's Coleman. Great punt. Taken at the 19. A little stutter out to the left, and the Nighthawks will stifle Martinez at the 30. Good-looking return, 12 yards for Paco Martinez. With 22 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, the Mavericks will take back over. Last time out we saw them, it was a one-play, 80-yard touchdown run, courtesy of Andrew Mays.
Yeah, the Nighthawks, now they're down by 16 points at 21-5, which means that by scoring 2 touchdowns and getting 2 two-point conversions, they could force overtime. There's a lot of precision and good fortune that we need to go into that for a team that hasn't moved the ball effectively all night, but that's where we are.
It looks like a false start on the offense. There was a flag thrown on the near side. And the play was also whistled dead, which means it must have been, and that'll move this spot back just a tad. Actually, it goes against Del Norte, a neutral zone infraction.
Wow.
You don't often see plays called dead, so I wasn't sure if it was on the defense, but yeah, it was. So it would be 1st and 5 here from the 36.
More sloppy play by the Nighthawks.
I think they're playing frustrated, Blake. High formation for Roth. Little off tackle handoff out to the left, and Mays gets shoved out just shy of the 40. Gets a gain of maybe 2 out of it.
Nighthawks got good penetration there and strung the play out, but that young back is really a good runner. He was able to shuck tacklers and get upfield. He didn't get a ton of yards, but given what he had to work with, he did pretty well.
Reed with the tackle. 2nd and 2.
8 yards on the carry, 2nd and 2 for the Mavericks.
Mays to the left. Roth in the shotgun. Mays moves to the right. And now back to the left. And now back to the right.
The yo-yo.
Oh, snap goes through the legs. And Roth is able to get on top of it. Rushing through and touching him down is Jack Parker again. More bad snaps as the clock will trickle down. And that is how quarter number 3 will conclude. 21-5. And the Mavericks will have a 3rd and 9 when the 4th quarter begins. So Del Norte was able to finally get something going on the first drive of the 3rd quarter, but it turned into a stall after a bad snap. Stopped the momentum. Trey Coleman missed the extra point. And then immediately after, La Costa Canyon pours on an 80-yard rushing touchdown. Del Norte stalls again, and now La Costa Canyon has a 3rd and 9 with 12 minutes to go.
Yeah, it's really too bad the Nighthawks are playing so uncrisply. I'm not sure that's the best word to use, but they're just out of sorts.
Sloppily?
Sloppily, yeah. This game is winnable. It was winnable. They now need to just fire on all cylinders on offense here in the 4th quarter, and they're running out of time. Usually you only get 2, maybe 3 possessions in a quarter would be a lot, so they've got to make the most of them or get turnovers. But this game's available. They're on the road. They're playing against a team that's not executing very well itself, having troubles with snaps, etc. But the Nighthawks just got to do it. It takes a big play to turn things around. Let's see if they can do something like that.
Quinn Roth, 3rd and 9. Sidearm throw goes through the hands of his intended receiver. And it'll be 4th down. So a break for the Nighthawks after the flag made it 1st and 5. Mavericks went backwards. That was Paco Martinez on the intended target.
And Jake Warren and George Summers closed. That ball, I think, was put in a nice spot, but the receiver got alligator arms as he pulled him in as he heard the footsteps of those Nighthawks closing in on him.
Del Norte was not held without a touchdown a year ago in any game. They lost 55-26 to Thousand Oaks. They still scored a ton in that one. They lost 49-14 in the playoff game to Point Loma. Still scored in that one. Punt number 2 here of the evening. It was almost blocked, as this one will take a quick trickle out to the left and go out of bounds.
Yeah, it flew right out of bounds on the fly, I believe, and so that was a little deeper than I thought. I thought they were going to get the ball closer to the 45.
Yeah, looks like it's going to be back at the 30. Oh. Ooh, maybe you're right. 40-yard line. I'm not sure the officials knew where it went out.
Yeah.
Because one official was all the way at the 30, which is where you thought it was going to be stopped or spotted, and then they walked it up to the 40. I have no idea what's been going on in this game, Blake.
Yeah, it's just a weird night.
and I still feel fortunate and grateful to be here with you.
Yeah. It's a great environment here.
Fantastic. Schneider back out there. It's a 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line. 60 yards to the end zone for the Nighthawks. You got to do it quickly. Only 12 minutes, now 11:52 to go. Schneider finally has some time, looking for Olsen. Double coverage, and it's intercepted. Ball was batted up. It's returned and into the end zone for a touchdown. A fitting way for La Costa Canyon to maybe put some icing on the cake here. 27-5.
I think that was number 3, Sergio Bubba Garcia. The
I would agree.
Yeah, the Nighthawks at this point were trying to force the ball into Ty Olsen, and why not? Nothing else has been working. And but he was in double or triple coverage there. Schneider threw it. The ball, Olsen was not able to come up with it, but in the process, the ball got tipped up.
In the huddle, Coach Barnett said it's my fault. You could see a great shot here from our field cam.
Nighthawks maybe got a little too aggressive there, too, for the situation.
So an extra point here for Connor Luota. And the students now start to file out of Maverick Stadium as La Costa Canyon takes a 28-5 lead. So Jack Schneider throws the touchdown just to the other team.
Right. Yeah.
So Bodie Estabrook tipped the pass, and then Bubba Garcia let it float into his awaiting arms before he legged it out for a touchdown interception.
Yeah, the lack of a running game just put so much pressure, combined with the score being so far behind. It just the Nighthawks were at risk.
Costa a little late to get their field goal or their kickoff unit out there. Olsen Remigio back to receive. So La Costa Canyon will hit the road next week up to San Clemente. That is a tough southern section battle at Mirror Mesa at Fallbrook. So La Costa Canyon won't be home for a month. They'll host Poway to open up Avocado League play on September 29th. Del Norte has Eastlake next week. They'll host Liberty out of Winchester, which is very deep in the Inland Empire, back at home in 2 weeks. Here's Olsen on the return.
There he goes.
Yeah, cuts back from the left to the right. Toe in the line. He's pushed out just shy of the 25.
Jonathan, have you heard if we're going to be able to broadcast that game in Eastlake?
That's a great question. Stay tuned to Del Norte socials.
Right.
I have heard that there is a good chance.
Good.
I've called some soccer at Eastlake in my time in San Diego. It's a great school. They have a great athletic department. And never an easy battle for a North County team to head down to South Bay for a little Friday night football action.
I looked up their score last week, and Eastlake lost to Apple Valley.
Apple Valley was a playoff team in the southern section last year.
Where is Apple Valley? I've been through there.
It's out east, sort of out, like if you're driving to Barstow.
Yeah.
It's sort of on the way.
Right.
Snows out there sometimes. My alma mater, Oak Park, had to play there for a southern section postseason soccer game last year, and it snowed while they were. And Oak Park doesn't play in snow.
Right. All right, well, let's see if the Nighthawks can put something together.
Yeah,
here.
here's Guzman on the reverse. 2 yards on the play. We can try and see if Eastlake has their score posted from tonight's game.
I want to see that freshman running back who just entered the game. Let's see if we can. I think our Nighthawk fans will enjoy watching him run. He runs hard and tough and keeps his legs driving. And then he breaks tackles and breaks free of his scrum and gets extra yards.
Eastlake is trailing Capistrano Valley 28-9.
And do you know anything about Capistrano Valley?
They're a lower division southern section school. By lower division, they're like Division 7. There's 15 divisions in the southern section, so sort of relative.
So Eastlake's not playing tough.
They have not played tough opponents up until next week's game against Del Norte. That was Ty Olson on the sweep. Gets 2 yards out of it. Should be about 3rd and 5. 10 minutes to go in the ball game.
Well, the Nighthawks are not conceding anything. They're still going with all their starters. And it'd be nice to see them rip off a scoring drive here.
Boy, I'll tell you though, Blake, looking at the conference schedule for La Costa Canyon, they open up against Poway. Then they play El Camino, which is a historic powerhouse in San Diego. Then they go at Mission Hills, at Carlsbad, best quarterback in the nation, Julian Sayin. And they finish up the season against Torrey Pines. This is a gauntlet of a league schedule for La Costa Canyon. Del Norte, Rancho Bernardo, Fallbrook, Ramona, San Marcos. Ramona, San Marcos, probably the 2 best teams on that schedule. Here is a pass that is complete.
Tomlinson.
Yeah, Ashton Tomlinson comes through. Inside the 10, stays on his feet, stumbles, and he is down at the 2-yard line. That is a 39-yard reception for Ashton Tomlinson. It's the largest play of the evening for Del Norte. He was 4 for 31 last week, a long of 16.
Ashton Tomlinson turning on the afterburners after breaking tackles upfield. A nice catch into double coverage, breaking tackles, spinning, driving, getting all the way to the 2-yard line. That's the kind of plays that Tomlinson's been showing the rest of this summer and into the preseason and scrimmage. Nice play, Ashton.
Goal and 2 to go for the Nighthawks. Trying to find some silver linings here. Ball wasn't snapped. There was movement everywhere. You got to wonder. Yep, false start on the offense. Once again, productive play gets stifled because of a miscue by the offense. We saw it on the last drive with the over snap, and here it is. Or two drives ago on the over snap, and here it is again with the false start.
Right. When the minute the Nighthawks get some good news, they do something that undermines it. And that's just not, you just can't win football games. Football's a game of momentum. And when you've got the momentum going for you, you just can't break it with your own lack of concentration or miscues.
And goal from the 7 now. 1st and goal, 8:07 to go in the ball game. Becker, Tomlinson, Hines out to the left. In motion goes Guzman. Up the middle, pass is complete.
I don't have number 30 on my roster, Jonathan, so I can't tell you who that is.
I don't either, Blake. All we know is the first offensive touchdown of the evening for Del Norte, and it comes from a mystery player.
It's kind of like the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier back in Washington. We're all appreciative and happy, but it's kind of hard to know exactly what to make of that. It must be a junior varsity player that got moved up. Sometimes it can be we don't have a road jersey for a number player that we do have on our roster as a home
Aiden
team.
Kamer is number 30 on the JV team. I would be remiss if I knew if that was who caught the touchdown. Feel free to tweet at me at Jonathan Rifkin on Twitter, on X.com or whatever. If you know if that's your son, we apologize. That information was not passed up to us. 28-11. 7:56 to go. Schneider going for a 2. Schneider keeps. Schneider gets wrapped up.
There.
And he is in there. That is a 2-point conversion for Jack Schneider. 28-13 the score.
That's a gutty run by a quarterback late in a game where the team's very far behind. But that just shows you what Jack Schneider's made of. He's got his foot on the gas pedal at all times and under all circumstances, and he's just not going to be denied.
That was set up by the 39-yard reception by Ashton Tomlinson, the senior wide receiver.
Tomlinson plays basketball as well. He was on the varsity team last year, came out for football for the first time as a junior. Started and played a lot most of the season, had a tough time initially, but once he got his momentum going, he's been in great shape.
There's something going on here with this special teams for La Costa Canyon, because this is the second time where the officials have had to tell the coaching staff to get their team on the field.
Yeah.
7:56 to go in the ball game.
Yeah, this coaching staff is pretty organized at La Costa. It almost seems like it would be intentional.
That is exactly what I was alluding to. Trey Coleman to the 5. This is Paco Martinez running into a slew of Nighthawks. He's down at the 15-yard line, and Quinn Roth will come back out.
A flock of Nighthawks, right, Jonathan?
I was just testing you to see if you knew I was missing that adjective.
Well, a kickoff that is rare that doesn't go into the end zone. He got the ball on the 5-yard line. I think that's the only one this year so far that Coleman hasn't.
There was one last week
was
because
there?
of the headwind, yeah.
Well, I'm not late in the game. I don't think that was. There was the backup kicker kicked one at the end of the game, but it didn't go into the end zone. I'm not sure where Trey was on that one.
I formation for the offense. Ball at the 16. It's a handoff bouncing out left, and maybe a yard or so on that run. 2nd and 9. Clock continues to trickle at 7:35 and counting.
Nighthawks down by 15 points, so they've made up a point in that 16-point deficit.
Look, if you can get a 3 and out here and score quickly, crazier things have happened. That's all I'll say. We don't want to jinx anything either way. We already jinxed Quinn Roth earlier in the game. Back in the eye come the offense.
Well, given the poor snaps and some other plays, it's
You never know.
yeah.
You never know. 7 minutes to go. Wisely, the offense taking their time, and finally Roth ready.
Contain, nice, good play, Nighthawks.
And that is a loss of 3 on the play.
Number 77, Esteban Lamone, strung the play out, turned it in.
And by the way, the ball carriers, the backup Kobe Herman, he had a touchdown last week against University City, didn't do much else. Olsen lets it drop. Trickling out to the 40, lays to rest at the 48, maybe the 47, rather the 37. So Del Norte has some yardage to work with. And we'll see here with 5:44 to go, you can get a quick touchdown, at least remain competitive.
Yeah, with just under 6 minutes left and 2 timeouts, the Nighthawks ought to be able to.
We saw Rancho Bernardo do this against Del Norte last year, if you remember, so it has happened.
As hard as I've tried to block that game out of my memory, I do recall.
Hey, pain is important, Blake. It's important to grow.
I'd rather be short.
Fair enough.
Here comes Schneider.
Yeah, and we'll see what he has in store here. It's a handoff up the middle. Guzman gets wrapped up very quickly. It's a gain of 1 on the play.
Now the clock's ticking, and that's shortening the game for the Nighthawks, so they want to get this play in.
Yeah, interesting decision.
Oh.
I think you recognize the defense was probably playing pass.
Yeah. Well, he actually, I don't mind the call there because if he would have been able to break that last tackle there, he did have some openings.
We apologize for the technical difficulties. We are back, so all you missed was a 4th down turned into a punt for the Mavericks, and then Del Norte with a quick run on the return. Just 5:10 to go. The score is still 28-13. Olsen has a pass, that is Schneider who completes the pass. That's Ashton Tomlinson on the receiving end as we clean things up here. We'll move the sticks. The clock continues to run at 5 minutes.
Tomlinson with a nice grab and a well-defended pass and comes down with it sure-handed, gets tackled, flips the ball to the official and gets back in the huddle and gets this drive continuing with minimal amount of clocks ticking off.
4:45 to go. Nighthawks need to score quickly. They used the timeout to stop the clock on 4th down on the defensive side. Schneider gets eaten up in the backfield. He is sacked again. Boy, that line has not been able to hold up too consistently tonight. On the sack comes flying Alexander Gonzalez.
And consistently is the right word because they've been inconsistent with that. They get a good play, they give them a good pocket, and then the next play collapses. It's really just been really tough to get any sort of continuity going.
4:10 to go. Nighthawks not showing a ton of urgency right now. You just want to focus on the execution aspect. Guzman to the left of Schneider. Schneider ready to throw. Looking out right. Fades and falls. Another sack.
I mean, the Nighthawks have got to move that pocket out. He's got to roll out and pass. He cannot sit in the pocket and just take it. They're bigger, stronger, faster, and his pocket's folding. So an adjustment's in order.
Braden Patterson on the sack. He gets a sack and immediately gets subbed off for some DBs who need to come out here and defend the pass. 3:24 to go here in the ball game. 28-13 the score. And a delay of game on the offense.
I think it might have been the illegal movement on the defense.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yep, you got it. 3rd and 14.
The defense is not allowed to make sudden moves that forces the offense to respond. They used to be able to do that. That was viewed as unfair. And it's actually that was progress for them to add that rule.
3rd and 14 from the 40. 2:48 to go. Schneider ready. Finally has some time, but he runs forward. See, this is the thing as he's taken down on the keeper for no gain on the play. There's just nowhere for him to throw the ball, so he has to tuck it and run. And even when the line holds, there's nowhere to go.
All right, so you got to commit more blockers to it, which means pull a receiver off of patterns and do that, or roll the quarterback out in flood zones and go back.
Schneider sort of hobbling as he runs out to the sideline. He looks good coming back, though, maybe saving his energy.
Right, which is one of the problems with having a quarterback running around so much, with one of the few areas of productivity on offense. Quarterback scrambles.
120 seconds to go. Fourth and 14. Schneider taking his time. And the offense will call a timeout. Second timeout here by Del Norte.
Well, the Nighthawks didn't look good on that. In that situation, I'm not sure.
And actually, I don't know what happened. The clock up in the press box was inconsistent with the clock down on the field, so they add a couple more seconds. It's 1:50 now. So, a sloppy first half for both teams, a sloppy second half for Del Norte, and moments of positivity. Ashton Tomlinson.
Yep. The mystery man, number 30.
Our mystery man, number 30. That might be the list. But look, it's early season, tough environment. One of the better opponents Del Norte has really ever played in the school history.
But you know what Yogi Berra said? Gets late early.
Eastlake next week. Liberty in 2 weeks back at home. 1:50 to go in this ball game. On 4th and 14, Schneider gets sacked. And if that isn't a commentary on this game, I don't know what is. Another sack, the 3rd sack of this drive for Braden Pattinson. And the Mavericks will tie a bow on this evening on their next drive.
Yeah, the Mavericks did a very good job of getting after Schneider. That's point number one. The way you beat the Nighthawks is you take time away from Schneider. You force him to run and beat you with his legs, but he can do that for a while on a drive, extend a play, get a first down. But if he's got to be upfield all night, fending off tacklers and getting tackled, it's just not a game plan. He's not built for it. The offense isn't built for it. And other opportunities go by the wayside when that's the only one that the Nighthawks are going after. The Nighthawks were never able to establish a running game. It doesn't look like they were ever fully committed to doing that. They've gotten away with that before because of Schneider's excellence and the consistency of his receivers. But even there were some passes dropped tonight and people not open. We're just going to see inside handoffs here.
This is the backup running back getting another carry. Kobe Herman. Third carry for him this evening, maybe fourth.
There's number 26, Kobe
Goes
Herman.
for a gain of 1 on the play. Clock at 1:30 now.
On the play, 2nd and 9.
Well, the Nighthawks entered the game, I believe it's the number 14 rank in the county according to the Union Trib poll. The Mavericks moved up from number 9 to number 7 this week. Mavericks are at home. This was a game they were expected to win. The Nighthawks only lost by 2 touchdowns.
It's one of those situations, you and I talked about it. Now, Del Norte didn't help themselves at all with the miscues. Plenty of flags, bad snaps, the lot. There is something to be said about playing this game at all, whether you come out of it with a win or a loss. Oh, there's a fumble. And the Mavericks will retain it back at the 36-yard line. So
I agree with where you're going with
yeah,
that,
right.
Jonathan.
It's you need to challenge yourself, right? This is a culture that is still building. There is one. It's a project, right? This is a new coaching staff. They're implementing a new system. The fans feel it. The administrators feel it. We feel it. But it takes time, progress in increments for this program. And you continue to battle. You continue to play great teams. Keep your head high and find the wins where you can get them. But again, I think that, John and the rest of the UT will recognize that this game is still a positive for Del Norte no matter what.
2 steps forward, 1 step back. This was clearly a step back. But the Nighthawks in years past, if they had a bad outing like that, like they just had tonight, they would have lost by 4 or 5 touchdowns. It would have been a complete blowout and a demoralizing loss. This was just a bad outing. We'll fight another day and be competitive. If this is the worst game the Nighthawks play, and I think it will be this season, by definition, every team has a worst game of the season. I think that was the Nighthawks tonight. We'll look back on this as a game that was winnable, but they didn't execute, but they stayed with these guys and can play football with the big boys.
28-13, the final score here from La Costa Canyon. Blake, share some final thoughts with us before we get hit on the road. Get on the road.
Yeah, I think the Nighthawks, even though they played poorly, they played with a big, strong, powerful team. This is a game they could have won as poorly as they played. They just need to work out some execution aspects. I think get a little more creative in figuring out ways to get Schneider some more time. But as bad as the Nighthawks played, there were several encouraging aspects of this game.
Absolutely. A couple of safeties, a ton of missed opportunities, productive plays brought back by flags. And at the end of the day, this is high school football. Each week poses a new challenge, and the fans down on the field, the students get to rush the field, and they're singing Sweet Caroline. That's a fun tradition. But I think that'll do it for us here on Nest TV. A huge thank you to our entire crew, our friends here at La Costa Canyon for making sure we were taken care of. And East Lake next week. Stay tuned on social media, folks. It's a soft yes for the broadcast heading down to the South Bay for that game. I certainly hope we can. Maybe hit Tacos El Gordo on the way, my favorite spot in the South Bay.
Yeah, let's do it.
For Blake Isaacson, my name is Jonathan Rifkin. Thank you so much for taking time to join us here on a Friday night. La Costa Canyon moves to 2-0. Del Norte drops to 1-1. We'll hopefully see you real soon. Have a great rest of your weekend. This has been a presentation of Del Norte Nighthawk football on Nest TV.